G'day, bro. Welcome to the Baker Street Irregulars.
Yes.
New friends solving worse crimes.
Yeah, that's great.
We'll work on it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Workshop that.
We're doing crime stuff, y'all. What are we doing, Em?
I mean, this is really only the second time we've ever played a board game
Yeah.
at the Blackwater table.
I mean,
We played TTRPG.
I've played a lot of board games, and usually they have a board.
Yeah.
I see a map of
A loose-
old-timey London that I'll gesture to with
maybe
my
a
little
tabletop
piggies.
game that doesn't have a
Tabletop
lot of
game.
role playing.
Yeah.
in it.
Okay.
Yet.
Well, yes. Thank you.
So we are. Well, I see some new faces at the table.
Yes, I do, and we should probably introduce these people. Some new, some very new, and some not so new as well. So I will jump into announcements, and then we'll get right into that. I'm going to acknowledge that we are streaming tonight from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish, Stolo, Semiahmoo, Kwantlen, Tsawwassen, and Musqueam First Nations. While tonight we are playing in late 1800s London, we are thrilled and honored to be able to play on these lands tonight. And we have some wonderful guests at the table with us this evening. We love being able to bring local actors, performers, and folks who are involved in the TTRPG space in some capacity to our table. Welcoming back our dear friend Michael Paler from Bookworm Games. Michael, if this is people's first night, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
I mean, if this is your first night with Blackwater, you are seriously missing out. You need to rectify it right now. I am Michael Paler. I work with Bookworm Games, and I also work with Foxwing Games. We produce quest chests, dice, tea, candles, almost anything you can think of that is going to enliven and enhance your game. We do it. Please come and hang out with us. You can find me at bookwormgames.com. You can find me at foxwinggames.com. We do puzzles, coins. I think you folks still have.
Yeah.
Michael
Great.
always brings
Somewhere.
presents when he comes. It's the
I didn't bring
best.
presents today.
That's okay.
You
You
brought your
are the
present.
present.
Your present.
Presents.
We get to play with you. That's the present. I'm going to type !with Bookworm Games in the chat, and it'll take you right there to the link. Also, we're very excited because we had a quest chest that was built right for us. So that was in our main campaign. It's in the 30s in the episode. So if you want to go see a quest chest in action, you're going to want to check out our main campaign. So yeah, go do that. And go get things from Bookworm because it's the best ever. Also tonight, we're welcoming a new friend, Danielle Budlin. Welcome!
Hello.
Introduce yourself and who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Danielle. I am visiting from Theater of the Mind Flayer, where I play a Arakorka who is kind of a chicken, Agnar. For anyone who is coming over from Mind Flayer, hello, hi. And yeah, I'm an actor, voice actor, and you can find me on social media, Danielle.Butlin, or you can find me at www.dbvoice.ca.
Amazing. And I'll drop the links for the theater. Where is the best place to find Theater of the Mind Flayers? On YouTube, on Twitch?
I would say Instagram.
Instagram?
And
Okay.
then in terms of watching or listening, we're on YouTube for watching.
Amazing.
And then we are on all of the things for listening.
Amazing. I will drop all the links for Theater of the Mind Flayer. They're another local group who are also incredible. So please, please, please go check them out. And we're so excited to have you here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing this evening and why we're all dressed up. And I'm very, very excited about it. But if you love this campaign and our show as much as we do, and you want to get caught up, you can head on over to our YouTube page. All of our Campaign 2 episodes are there, and they release on Fridays at noon with podcast episodes from the previous week dropping on Mondays. You can type !YouTube in the chat chat to find all of the links there. We also want to give a big thank you to the team of Chantel and Benji in the booth tonight. Thank you for keeping us on the rails and being cool when I say with a couple of these events, hey, we're doing something else rather than playing main campaign. So I really love you guys. Thank you so much. Some very brief programming updates. We are caught up on the podcast. We also have a Patreon. This is the time where Jess usually talks about Patreon. So I'm going to throw it to Tim.
Great, Sean, let's hear it.
What I love about Patreon, actually, Yanis, you say this so much better. You have a favorite thing about Patreon that I just can't stop hearing about.
It's a mezcal. It's got a lovely smoky flavor to it. I love it. The silver one, particular. Delicious margarita.
That's a
Let me
great
tell you about
tier.
Patreon, all right? You come to a Patreon, you get all sorts of fun stuff. My favorite, chat water. After each session, we talk about the session, like immediately after. It's full of hot takes. We got stuff at the free tier. We got stuff at the money tier. There's a bunch of exciting stuff, especially if you're interested in God Killer.
Yeah, God Killer's great. We've got a bunch of God Killer stuff on there. Thanks so much, Sean. You can head on over to patreon.com/BlackwaterDnD to find all the details there. Also, something that's really great about our Patreon is we have a patrons-only Discord. So if you join the Patreon at any of our paid tiers, it immediately and you link your Discord, it'll immediately put you into our patrons-only chat. We hang out there all the time. You can ask the cast anything. I often post all of the stuff that's going to go on social media literally about a week ahead of time, so our guests know, or our patrons know everything.
Scoop.
The inside scoop. And now I'm not going to talk about God Killer just yet, but I will in a moment. We postponed our first episode of Triangle Agency Equilateral due to the LA fires, but we were thrilled to premiere last week. Our first episode, The Volatile Vortex, dropped, and our agents found themselves in a bit of a pickle in the HR department. So this series is the second part of our Triangle Agency The Right Angle series, which we played back in 2023, and we're thrilled to return to Turnian City and work in conjunction with the folks over at Haunted Table Games. Caleb and Sean, thank you so much for creating this incredible game. Michael, can you show the box that arrived at my house?
Oh, yeah.
My copy of
So this is the normal briefcase. It comes with a full version of the game. It's one of the most aesthetically beautiful and on-brand games. It's got in the box itself, it comes with its own set of branded dice. It comes with 12 missions that you can run, as well as the handbook itself.
It is quite
It's
pretty.
very beautiful. There's also like a bunch of character sheets. It's stunning. It's gorgeous.
Smells good.
I know. They did a really, really good job. I love this game so deeply. So please come hang out with us. And our cast is myself as your general manager and features Tim and Cody and Yanis from Blackwater with special guests Snowman and Mindari. So get your normal briefcases and your ripple guns and join us for the first job of the rest of your life. Our next episode drops this Thursday, January 23rd at 8 p.m. PST. Now I'm going to talk about God Killer. You can keep talking about that one if you want to, though.
Please.
Thank you so much. First off, I just want to say a huge thank you to Rowan Zioli for her article that featured us in Polygon Magazine. Holy bananas, it was an honor. We were on the front page of the Polygon website for like 2 hours. It was incredible. It felt really, really good. This series, Balance, features the core cast of myself as the GM, running it with Yanis and Gina as my God Killers, and also features a stunning crew of guests, including Christian Navarro, Tim Carlson, Anjali Bamani, Christian Carlson, Cody Heath, Luis Carrazzo, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matt Mercer, and Abria Iyengar. If you've listened to Balance and you like what you hear, come check out our first season, Oblivion, which is also available wherever pods are cast. You don't need to listen to Oblivion to start Balance, but it does provide a heck of a lot of context, and you'll be able to understand all the lore and the Easter eggs. We also did a talkback very recently that is now posted on Patreon. It will not be available on YouTube, but it is available at the free tier. So if you do, there's full of spoilers, so make sure you listen up to episode 7 before you watch the talkback.
Yeah, that free tier is really
Free tier's
something.
pretty
You get a
great.
lot.
And wait, what does it cost you to do it at the free tier?
It's free.
Literally nothing.
What? Literal
That's
nothing.
Zero.
insane. That's a scam.
We're
Your
thrilled.
email.
There's no way you get that much value for nothing. I wouldn't trust.
We're thrilled to have this show sponsored by Hero Forge and Moonbeam, so thank you so much for making this possible. Episodes released bi-weekly, and our next one we will be back with a interlude featuring the one and only Brennan Lee Mulligan. Interlude 3, Killing, drops this Friday, January 24th at noon PST, and from here on out, it's basically guests all the way down. We have episodes with Brennan, and then Matt, and then Abria in that order, and oh my gosh, it's so much. It was so much to GM them, and it was just an incredible run. I'm really, really excited to bring these ones out. We drop more teasers on our Patreon, as well as in our Patrons-only Discord, and please stay tuned to us across the socials for all of the good announcements, and thank you for joining us for our second journey through the cradle. So now, tonight, we are taking a brief diversion from the main campaign as Jess is away on vacation, but we are playing one of my favorite tabletop games, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. In this game, we're playing against Sherlock Holmes to solve some cases that would have come across his desk in the late 1800s.
He's a dead man.
I was actually looking at the book
Yes.
set in between 1892 and 1894, which means canonically we are in the gay 90s.
Ooh,
That's
I
what they
love
called
it.
it.
The gay 90s.
It was a golden
Yes.
age for the Empire.
I-
They called it
wonderful.
the
I love
gay
it.
90s.
Gay 90s.
So our goal tonight is to solve a crime in as few moves as possible, investigating the crime scene, interviewing witnesses and suspects, navigating the London network to gather all the information before we come to a definitive decision of who done it. This tabletop, was it Sean? Did Sean do it? Yeah. This incredible tabletop game is where we all have to collaboratively work together, so we'll be all taking on various roles in the game, scouring newspapers, taking notes, gathering clues, and reading from transcripts and case descriptions. We're starting with the Thames Murders, which is the first box, and there are 3 other boxes in the series. There's the Baker Street Irregulars, which I've got over there. You can grab it if you want. So the Baker Street Irregulars is the green one, and then we've got the blue one right there, which is the Carlton House. The Carlton House and Queen's Park murders or cases, and then the final one is the Jack the Ripper series, which is really and all the Whitechapel
Yes.
crimes and stuff like that. So that's Tim and I have played. When did we play this game? Like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And I found
I
like
don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything from it, so I'm really excited. But the Jack the Ripper ones are definitely like hard mode, so we're starting on easy mode.
They're just actual crimes.
Yeah.
We're just,
Hundreds.
we're just
Yeah.
investigating actual crimes. And we'll maybe be doing 1 or 2 cases this evening, depending on how decisive we are and how sure we are that we've solved the case. We hope this game will be one that we can jump in and out of again on stream whenever we want to take a step aside or we need to take a step aside from main campaign. So that is it. Go ahead.
Can I just ask a question before we
Yeah,
get into it?
yeah.
Who at the table feels confident about their deductive reasoning skills?
I used to do a lot of these as a kid.
Oh yeah?
He just has Moriarty written with a giant question mark on his name.
Once, and the only thing I remember about it is my score was so astronomically high that I don't
And high
remember
score
about
is bad.
High score
High
is
score
bad.
bad.
You
It's like golf.
make puzzles
Yes.
like as a job. So
Correct.
do puzzle bad, make puzzle good.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. So when I can pretend I'm really smart about it and I can cock an eyebrow, then I'm set. If I have
Okay.
to solve it, I'm just like, nah.
No.
Feeling confident?
Yeah. I used to do logic puzzles as a kid, as a piece of
Banana.
Okay, great. You can carry us.
It's gonna be wonderful. So grab your pipe, grab your cane, and your best friends. Whether you're new with us tonight or you've been with us for ages, thank you so much for your support. It's through community that we make amazing things happen. We love you immensely, and thank you so much for hanging out with us at our table. We hope you feel super, super welcome here. The game is afoot. Welcome to the Baker Street Irregulars. Chantel, roll that clip.
I'd like to move to solve the case.
Tim's moving us off right off the top. Okay,
That's a lot of points. We're
That's a
gonna win by
lot of
far.
points. We're gonna win by so
I'm
far.
gonna say Moriarty.
Every time that's Giannis's goal. So we are going to start with case number 1.
Great place to start.
Truly beginner
Right at
of
the
beginner. This one is set on the 12th of March, 1888, and it is called the Munitions Magnate. We have Giannis helming the map this evening.
We'll see.
Tim, what are you doing?
I am on the newspaper.
Amazing. Danielle, what have you got?
I have the directory, aka Yellow Pages.
Sean?
I know about our informants.
That's-
People who are willing to talk.
That's good. And Michael is?
I will be taking on the position of dead weight.
Incredible. I am going to do a little bit of the reading, but we will probably pass the book around from person to person. Like if it's your idea to go to a certain place, you can read what happens at that place. You can either succeed or fail publicly. One of those two things is fine. Okay, so I will take on the job of reading case 1, the Munitions Magnate. Buckle up, everyone. I'm gonna just read through it. We've got 2.5 pages to go. Okay. Listen and take notes.
I have notes. Apple. Banana. Carrot. Moriarty.
One of these things is not like the other. What's Carrot doing in there?
It's a C-lettered fruit or vegetable. And then I got stumped on D.
Do we have a Squid Game reference in there as well? Is that a secret? Is that a clue?
Okay.
I take it away. Adam.
You'll see.
Case
It all
one.
makes sense in the end.
The Munitions Magnate, the 12th of March, 1888. Despite the lateness of winter, March is still roaring like a lion. In fact, just as we alight from our cab in front of 221B Baker Street, a bowler hat skitters by, propelled by the force of the fierce wind. In close pursuit is none other than Wiggins, chief of the Baker Street Irregulars, and after Dr. Watson, Sherlock Holmes' most able assistant. Before we can join the chase, Wiggins manages to halt the flying bit of finery with a deft stroke of his umbrella. Cramming it squarely on his head, he saunters back towards us. "Hello," he says cheerily. "It would appear that Mr. Holmes is summoning the troops. Shall we?" With the point of his umbrella, a very versatile tool it appears, Wiggins stabs the doorbell.
Oh.
It is several moments later before Mrs. Hudson answers. After a brief exchange of greetings, she sends us on our way up to Holmes's apartment. Above, we find Holmes and Dr. Watson sitting at a table engaged in earnest conversation with a gentleman in his late 40s, expensively dressed yet somewhat rumpled in appearance. "Warm yourselves," says Holmes, "and I will explain my reasons for calling you out on such a bitter morning." Coats and hats are immediately shed. There's a distinct pop as Wiggins removes his bowler, and a rush is made for the fireplace. In
Sorry,
due
what?
course,
Is he a Lego man?
he might be bald. In due course,
a tight
introductions
hat.
are made, and the gentleman identified is Mr. Richard Allen,
The Rumple Man is Mr. Richard Allen.
Dickelin?
brother of the late Courtney Allen, president of the Grant Arms Company. So the person who has died, I'm assuming, is Courtney Allen, president of the Grant Arms Company. "It is the recent death of his brother," says Holmes, "that occasions his visit to us. Briefly, Courtney Allen was found shot to death in an alley behind his office on the evening of March 9th, which would be 3 days ago, at approximately 7 p.m. by a constable on patrol. Scotland Yard has put the crime down as simple robbery by person or persons unknown, largely due to the fact that the victim's wallet was found empty near the body and his gold pocket watch was missing. Mr. Allen was just telling us a bit about his brother when you arrived. Please continue, Mr. Allen." Well, Courtney was a dynamic individual, always busy, forever on the move, yet he had the unique ability to make 10 minutes spent with you seem like an hour. So complete was his attention to you. Of course, his charm worked like magic potion on the ladies. "You said he was married?" asked Watson with an eyebrow. "Oh yes, poor Beatrice." "He was involved with an affair at the time of his death?" asked Wiggins. "Yes, I believe he was, but I have no clue as to who the lady might have been.
Straight to the goss.
You see, the night before he was killed, I popped round to his office about 5:30 and managed to coax him to supper at Keen's. We were there but a short while when Courtney begged leave. He indicated that he had an important meeting and said, "Auf Wiedersehen," and winked.
That's not English.
German.
That wink meant a woman. "Is the company financially sound?" asked Watson. "Oh yes, quite a fine investment for anyone's portfolio. You see, the company was founded as a small gun shop some 70-odd years ago by our great-uncle Thaddeus Grant. It catered to a very elite clientele. Most of the chaps in the regiment were equipped with pistols from Grant's," nodded Watson. "Why, Braxton, you've heard me speak of Braxton Holmes, had the most finest pair of dueling pistols." "Yes, Watson, pray continue, Mr. Allen." "Courtney, always fascinated by firearms, apprenticed himself to Uncle Thaddeus. When Thaddeus died in 1873, he bequeathed the business to Courtney. While maintaining the original shop and its tradition, Courtney expanded into the international arms trade.
Tight.
With loan and the sale of public stock,
Very cool.
he was able to build a plant at 12 Deverell Street for the manufacture of heavy ordnance. Today, the firm is debt-free and very profitable. Of course, a drop in the share price occurred with the news of my brother's death." "Who has ascended to the presidency?" asked Watson. "Courtney's picked successor, Philip Marlowe, the second vice president." "And why not the first vice president?" "Young Lord Ragland, who runs the Deverell Street plant, is a brilliant technician, but a most inept businessman." "Who inherits your brother's stock?"
What was that guy's name again?
"Lord Ragland."
Lord Inept Raglan.
"And who inherits your brother's stock?" "His wife, Beatrice." Now, I think we might examine the effects found with your brother. So saying, Holmes turns his attention to a briefcase and a large brown envelope. It looks as if some sharp object has been used on it, comments Watson, referring to the long gouge on the leather of the briefcase. Yes, and it's practically brand new. I gave it to Courtney for his last birthday, January 6th. January 6th. As you can see, it's...
Where was he?
Where was he?
As you can see, it is locked. The police found it that way. Courtney kept the key on a chain attached to his watch fob. The watch, of course, was stolen. Holmes retrieves a long piece of wire from the coal scuttle. After gaining Alan's permission, he inserts it into the lock and, with a quick flick of his wrist, springs the lock open. He pulls out 2 folders for our examination. Each is filled with company papers and is coded to indicate its contents. One is marked MBC, which concerns various coal mine leases. Another, marked S87U, contains the list of sales to a U.S. Sorry?
Say the numbers again.
MBC.
And S.
S87U. MBC is coal mine leases, and S87U is a list of sales to the U.S. government for the preceding year. I'm assuming the 87 means 1887 because it is 1888. Holmes then empties. Not quite in the gay night. Holmes then empties the contents of the envelope onto the table.
80s.
The inventory includes. The inventory includes spectacles and a case, a ruby ring, a gold wedding band, a keychain with keys, an empty wallet.
Okay, hold on. So the envelope was in the briefcase?
No, there was
Envelopes,
there
two
was like
envelopes.
a ledger that had
Yeah.
a bunch of company papers in it.
Yeah.
And the other envelope contained the following:
Okay.
spectacles and a case,
What's a case? Oh, for the
a
spectacles.
glasses case, yes, a ruby ring, a gold wedding band.
Tight.
He was definitely on his way to his affair if he put his wedding band in his briefcase.
Or maybe he just didn't want it to get dirty.
Maybe. A keychain with keys.
How many?
Unclear. An empty wallet, a small notebook, and a note. The note is here, and it has a bunch. It looks like a note from a day planner. And I'll pass it around for everyone. It has a bunch of dates on it of where he's been on Thursday, March 8th, Friday, March 9th, Saturday, March 10th. Thursday, March 8th looks like he was Bishop's F, 8:30 p.m. Billy's mother's birthday is another entry. On Friday, March 9th, Plant, 8 a.m. surprise. It's okay. So
Robert Plant?
Friday, March 9th, also Captain Egan, 8:30 p.m. Saturday, March 10th, a visit to Bristol's mine, it looks like, 10 a.m. And Saturday, March 10th,
U.S. Embassy.
U.S. Embassy, thank you, 3:30 p.m.
He died on the Friday?
He died on he died 3 days before this, so this is on the 12th. He died on the 9th, so on the evening of the 9th. So he was supposed to be
Planned surprise. He was supposed to see Captain Egan.
supposed to see Captain Egan that evening.
But
then
he
there's
never made it.
There's
That's
also
the
something
girl.
on Sunday, March 11th. It says SP10, Spaniard tonight, 10 p.m. And the initials AM. It's a little note. SP10,
AM.
Spaniard tonight,
Spaniard.
10 p.m. And the initials AM at the end of it.
10 p.m. in the a.m.
And then there's also looks like a receipt from Clark and Sons Hatter for one Victoria hat, which he paid £10 for, which would be quite a bit of money.
That's a nice hat. I bet that one pops when you take it off.
Okay, so just a little bit here left over. Seizing on the notebook, Holmes observes, "Can you tell us who Captain Egan might be, Mr. Allen?
Great question.
I've never heard the name." And Billy? Billy is Courtney's secretary, William Linhart. Holmes compares the writing in the notebook with that of the note. They appear to be identical. He nods. "I believe we have enough to begin our investigation." After Allen has gone, Wiggins comments that his hand gestures were most intriguing. Combining infinite subtlety with such tremendous force, it is easy to imagine that he has no trouble making his wishes known on the floor of the London Stock Exchange. So his brother Courtney is he works in the stock exchange.
He's a crypto
Sorry.
bro.
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, Richard works in the stocks.
Billy is Courtney's
Assistant.
secretary.
Yeah.
Billy's a stock trader.
Look, it all comes back to Moriarty, Sean.
No,
Well,
it's
don't say no yet. We'll see.
Or Richard
I
Allen.
think I've
Rich.
got
Yes, Richard is the
Stock
brother.
exchange.
Yes.
Stalker.
And he says, I don't recall Alan giving out his occupation, says Watson, puzzled. No, replies Wiggins, but certain phrases he spoke, coupled with penciled notations on his left shirt cuff, stock prices surely, led me to conclude that he was a stockbroker. Excellent, Wiggins. Well, Watson, our young man has come a long way since the days when you described him as a dirty little street urchin, eh? Thank you, Mr.
Filthy
Holmes,
little
but
mouse.
after all, I was taught by the master. True, says Holmes, matter-of-factly. Quite true.
All right, let's solve this
So
crime.
these...
We've got some leads.
Wait, is House, like Dr. House, a reference
Yes.
to Holmes?
He lives at
Yeah,
221B
buddy.
Baker
Fuck.
Street.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Wilson is
Welcome.
Watson.
Fuck! It's all right there. I'm
Welcome.
dummy.
I'm literally on my once a decade watch through of House again, and I'm just like, it's all coming
Oh,
together.
because house is a home.
House is Holmes, and a home is a house.
Home the
Damn,
house.
Why did I not
Home
see
house.
that?
Yeah.
Okay,
dude.
so where do we want to?
No, I need time.
I just want to put a quick observation in the newspaper.
Okay.
All these O's. Ooh.
That was written by a ghost.
I think it's a secret code. I'm still working on it.
The editor's a ghost, for sure.
Where's
So-
12 Deverell Street? Where was he killed?
He was killed
In an
outside an alley. He was killed out in an
In the
alley.
street like a dog.
He was.
Put down like a dog.
Let me find this here. There's going to be a lot of this looking back. He was in an alley behind his office on the evening of March 9th.
Okay, and his office was at the factory. No.
No, I'm assuming his office is somewhere else. We might be able to find that in the directory. And so this would be for the Grant Arms Company would be the thing that we're probably looking for there. And I'm assuming that Captain Egan is absolutely codename for this mistress. Yes? That's got to be a codename for the mistress.
Did we hear Kershaw? Was that?
No.
Was that a name that came? Okay.
No, not in this one.
Captain Egan.
Captain Egan.
I want to know what the surprise was at the plant.
And the Germans. What about this?
Yeah, he said
Auf
Auf
Wiedersehen.
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 Maybe the woman is German?
Yeah.
Maybe
Same
the...
ink.
Now, I know off camera, we did read through the thing, and Holmes said, find data first, don't come up with theories.
That's good.
But
If he's doing international arms dealing,
Yes.
and we're coming up to the First World War, and he's dealing to both the Americans and the Germans, somebody wants him killed.
are you
Yeah.
telling me that the CEO of a major arms company maybe didn't have it coming?
Okay, but so before the stream started, we went through the rule book and looked at a list of contacts, so we didn't have to do that all on camera.
Tim?
Perhaps we should start with one of the contacts first.
What?
Or what do you think, Sean?
Because I think there's a number. We have a
crime
few
scene.
names that we could.
Crime scene.
Crime scene. Always go to the crime scene.
It has been
got
3
it.
days
Oh
since
yeah.
the crime scene.
Well, here's
It's bone dry.
Here's my big question. No, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Are we both saying Billy?
No.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I feel like I probably need to look at that to
Yes.
see some things.
Yes.
But I also feel like he might not be having an affair. I feel like that might possibly be a redhead.
Oh, interesting.
I just feel like it felt like we were really being led to think that he's having an affair, which makes me think that maybe it's something else.
I have a pitch for maybe where we could go to start to get a little bit more information.
I have
Maybe we go to St. Bart's to look at the body.
I also want to just point out a gentleman wants lessons in French. About 4 times a week. Apply by letter. It's got the address here, just in case.
Does anyone speak French?
Can I take over the
I'm the newspaper guy. So.
William Linhart
Okay.
is in the Yellow Pages.
Yes.
We can visit the secretary.
I love that idea. 'Cause secretaries can know where he's going, even if he's lying to other people.
Secretaries are basically business butlers,
So-
and the
Also-
butler usually did it.
The ruby ring struck me as odd. Of like all of the like kind of regular stuff, and then why does he have this ruby ring? I wouldn't. There's probably a jeweler we could visit.
Yes, and I think he also had his wedding ring in his briefcase. Like he would normally be wearing his wedding ring out and about, but if it obviously wasn't a robbery, otherwise the briefcase would have been stolen because the key was on the watch.
But it was slash.
We had 2 empty wallets, one in the briefcase and then one on him.
I think so.
Is that?
And the briefcase looked like it was opened.
No, it had been slashed, but it was not.
Cut up.
Yes.
Now,
I think we
yeah,
should-
how was he was shot?
he was shot.
How ironic.
I'm curious if he was shot by one of his own guns.
Because here's the
And the
thing.
bullets were inscribed.
If it's slashed, there was 3 bullets. All the cases had. If it was slashed, that's probably like a defensive
It could have been.
slash. I think, yeah, he draws a gun and drops it. We figured it out, team. So where do we go first? Do we check out the body?
I think we should check out the body. Because remember, every move we make costs us points. So we have to be definitive with what was going to get us the most.
Should we
information.
also, at some point, I'm just like Philip Marlowe and Lord Raglan. Marlowe took over the company. Raglan was passed over.
I think
But
if we go see the body,
Yeah.
what are we hoping to find? Like different types of death things? I think we talk to Billy Leinhart.
Okay.
I think we see this guy. He's the guy who, as far as we know, is about as close to old Courtney Love here as anybody. So like, let's dig in.
Courtney Allen
Okay.
Love.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
where
we'll
is
find-
Mr. William Leinhart? Where is he located?
He's in there.
Lionheart.
Also, maybe a
Under
trip to the
L,
embassy.
not W, like you might think.
Maybe a trip to the embassy, the U.S. embassy. 'cause he
Oh.
had a
But we
meeting
want
there.
to go with ammunition if we're talking to the Americans.
Good pun. Well done.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm pitching old Linhart here. Linhart knows
Lionheart. Lionheart. Baldwin? No.
Willie.
Billy.
William.
Billiam.
Baldwin Linhart. Lord Linhart.
Did I make it up when I said he's in there?
Maybe he's not.
Maybe a little.
We could potentially.
Yes.
Lewin. Linhart, not Linhart. Yes.
Where's he at?
61 EC.
Okay, so when you do, when you pick a person that you want to go see, you look at from their address in the book. So 61 EC.
61 East Closet.
Okay,
I think Sean's got to read it.
you do because that
Oh,
was
that's
your.
me?
Yep, right down there at the bottom. So only read that one in the bottom.
Just
right-hand
read
corner.
that one.
Just-
It's a little one. I was hoping it'd be bigger. We find the apartment of the Linhart family without any difficulty. We barely have time to explain the reason for our visit before Mrs. Mabel Linhart, William's mother, begins offering us all sorts of things to eat and drink. She's a lively old lady who begins to sob violently when she remembers that nice Mr. Allen had delivered to her for her birthday the day before his death. We sympathize, offer her our handkerchiefs, and share some of her homemade caramels, which, after a while, allows us to comfort her. Finally, we ask her where her son was on the night of March 9th. At home with me all night. My Billy's such a good boy. Where is Billy? Why isn't Billy here?
I'm confident we're gonna beat Sherlock.
Wouldn't it make sense that he could potentially be at the factory or the office?
Fuck!
It is the middle of the workday.
I take a caramel from the road.
Okay.
That sucks.
That's one place.
Fuck you, Mabel. That sucks.
I'd like to pitch we go visit the body.
Yeah, let's visit the body. I got
Okay,
it.
so that's St. Bart's.
We're
and
going to
that's-
old Biggie
I
Park.
also think at some point we should visit that expert that's like the expert on international affairs.
Oh yeah.
I bet you, or gossip, or gossip.
Yeah.
So Jasper Meeks, Sir Jasper Meeks, is the head medical examiner
Fucking Sir Jasper Meeks, thank
you got knighted.
at St. Bart's Hospital. That's 38
Yeah.
East Closet. EC.
Where is that on the map? Where is St. Bart's on the map? Yanis is busy in the newspaper.
Right.
No, that's a Spanish.
What is it?
EC. Up there.
EC, what's the number?
38.
Point at it for the kids at home. There we go.
Right there.
Right there. That's
We're,
where
Right.
We're traversing all of London.
Aren't we already in East Closet? Yeah.
East Central?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, East Closet.
East Closet. We went from
wanna pass-
62 East
you wanna pass
Closet
me the book?
to 38 East Closet.
all you.
It was Earth Closet.
No, it's that
Earth
one. Yeah,
Closet.
Danielle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to get lost. London's
We
I hope this
are-
is entertaining
yes.
for folks at home.
I think we should get bonus points for visiting places that are nearby each other. Right, low points is good.
I think we should visit every possible lead. Let's exhaust all the options.
If
Yeah.
we start right at
Sorry,
the top
guys.
left-hand
I'm so sorry. Sir Jasper Meeks explains that Alan was shot in the chest at close range.
Oh.
From a distance of 2 feet, no more. There were extensive burns on his overcoat. Do you have the bullet? No, but it must have been of a large
hate
caliber.
it.
That exit wound was massive. I think this was given to crazy old Murray, who is the
You can't
chemist
just
at
reference
Scotland
Crazy
Yard.
Murray.
Well, aren't we right next to crazy old Murray's?
So it was a shot at close range with a large bullet.
So overpowered before.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? That's all the way at 22th Southwest.
I mean,
South
we can.
Closet.
Do we want to go see Murray for more information, or do we have another place?
Is there anywhere else
Let's
in
go to
East
Let's
Closet?
go to the factory.
Is that in East Closet?
Or do you want to go to the office?
The factory's at 12
I think
Devil
we should talk to
Street.
the gossip guy.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the surprise
that's-
was.
There
The
was
surprise?
there was a
Surprise.
note, yeah, that said
There was a
basically.
surprise at the factory
Oh, okay.
before he went for his dinner meeting.
Would that have been the
the
birthday
plant.
surprise?
No, because it was Billy's mother's birthday. That's Mabel's birthday the night, because she
Right.
just talked about that. The night
Yeah.
before he was killed, he came and gave her something.
But on the day he was killed at 8 a.m., it says plant surprise.
Yeah.
8 a.m.
I wonder, yeah, it
Yeah, let's
could
check
be,
out that plant.
could be talking
We
something
might be
talking
there
about
as
like
well.
There might be
Yeah.
people there that we can
international
talk, that we can talk to.
dealings, going global.
And good news, the criminologist that we want to talk to is also living next door to the garbage rag man.
Oh,
the,
okay.
the gossip columnist.
Gossip
Garbage
columnist. Okay. So let's go to who wanted to go to the plant. That was you.
That was I.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
So do you want to go to the factory or do you want to go to the office?
The plant.
So that's 12 Deverell Street. That would be
Yeah.
the Grant Arms Company factory.
Okay,
just
so that is at 5 East.
We're already in East.
East Closet.
We're in East
Closet.
So
Closet.
how do I find it in here?
Yeah, it's all
There's
right
the
here.
southeast area. And then you can,
Southwest, northwest,
Somebody
west,
point out
west,
on the map.
east.
Where did we
closet.
go? We went from
Five.
38 to
I think
5.
that's up
Sorry?
in the corner.
What was it, 5 East Closet?
Where's East Closet? We're in East Closet, right here. Where's 5? Reveal your secrets to me.
5 East Closet.
oh, that's a big one. Yanis got a good one. Okay, let's do it.
We meet Constable Beadle behind the Grant Arms Company in the alley parallel to Leonard Street.
Oh, because this is the crime scene. Also,
It's a fucking crime scene.
I noticed a strange lump on the alley. I knew right off that something was amiss. My instinct for the out of place, you
Lumpy
might
alley.
say. Watch your step there. The cobbling hereabouts is in a bad way. Many
Is this
jagged
Professor
edge
Beadle
just
saying
made
this?
This is the
for
constable.
tripping a man. We have strolled 30 feet or so from the base of the stairway that leads us to the offices of the Grant Arms to arrive at the juncture of T formed with another alley that leads to the old street. It was right here, and sad to say, it was not a lump at all. Now the victim was lying on his back, the force of the bullet having thrown him backwards. The briefcase was lying right beside the body, waist high. Wallet was laying a few feet away. The victim's overcoat was thrown open and his pocket watch was missing, but part of the chain was still attached to the vest. He was quite dead, but there was still some warmth in his bare hands, so I couldn't have missed the lighter by much. Now I figured the perpetrator must have hid in the shed just up the second alley. When the victim approached, he jumped out and fired point blank. As you can see, it's but 5 feet from the shed to where the body lay. We thank Constable Beadle for his time and trouble. He goes back on patrol, but we linger a moment longer at the scene. From the shed, Wiggins calls to us. Seems both Scotland Yard and our perpetrator have been quite careless. His palm open reveals the remains of a cigarette. On it are the letters B and H in gold leaf. The tip end is pinched evenly all around. Beaming, Wiggins suggests that we adjourn to the offices of the Grant Arms Company to interview Alan's private secretary. Our unorthodox means of entries via the back stairway settles a young man we meet in the corridor. Fair-haired and pleasant-featured, he turns out to be William Linhart. After introductions are made, we are seated in Linhart's office. Wiggins asks him a question that has been nagging at all of us since the beginning. What was Mr. Allen doing in the alley? Anytime he worked after hours, which is often, he would leave by the back way. It was a short walk to Old Street where the traffic was heavier and a cab more likely to be hailed. So anyone who had a passing knowledge of Mr. Allen's habits, company employees, or even business acquaintances would certainly have been aware of that practice. Yes, that's so. That evening, Mr. Allen was scheduled to meet with a Captain Egan at 8:30. Can you tell us who Captain Egan is? He is the ordnance officer in charge of purchasing for the
Admiralty.
Admiral.
But is he like a cutie? Is he like
I don't think he's a.
kind of
Is there
hot?
some smooches?
Yeah, he's a wink, if you know what I mean. Do you know what the meeting was about? He and Mr. Allen met often to discuss the special project undertaken for the Admiralty some months ago, but I was unaware of the particular meeting. Mr. Allen regularly delivered progress reports, but always during the day, and I always made the appointments. I remember that Mr. Allen asked me to put the SP number 10 folder into his briefcase. It surprised me because I was not aware of an appointment with Captain Egan. Could you tell us about this special project? It's very secret, but I suppose I can say that it involves the development of a new type of naval gun. Were there problems with the project? None that I'm aware of. Mr. Allen was concerned about security, though. While we do sell arms to foreign powers, there are certain weapons that are reserved exclusively for our government special project number 10, as that was such a one. Was Mr. Allen's concern of security based on a specific incident or centered on a specific person? The existence of the project was common knowledge, so I'm sure that he expected a certain amount of, spying. He called in Lord Raglan to discuss the matter after several strange people were seen hanging around the Deverell Street plant. Why would the plant be under surveillance? All the technical data, blueprints, formulas, that type of thing are housed there. Our offices are entirely administrative, so we do not keep any confidential documents in here. Mr. Allen's brother believes that he was having an affair at the time of his death. Realizing that this is a delicate matter, would you know who that lady may have been? No, I do not. Over the years, I've always known about Mr. Allen's peccadillos.
Yeah, no, you said it right. It's just an old-timey word.
Is that an actual word?
Peccadillo? Yeah.
I'm curious.
But only in the most general way. We would be working on something that would trigger a cryptic remark that obviously had to do with his personal life. For example, just after the International Arms Fair opened, he received a scented letter on pink stationery. Later that day, he was dictating a memo to Lord Raglan when he stopped and picked it up. He took a full whiff of it and said aloud, "Women often marry for a title, but they won't necessarily fall in love for one." Then he laughed and went on with the memo.
Wait, he's dilly-dallying
Yes.
with the
Someone he loves.
maybe,
Potentially.
but someone who is married to someone with a title. Perhaps a lord?
Or
This sounds like hot goss.
or it also could be talking about his own wife. Well, I mean, no, he doesn't have a title. Like, he's not a lord or anything
not
like
titled.
Lord Raglan, maybe. Also, peccadillo is a small, relatively unimportant offense or sin. Is what
Just
that
a little
word means.
sin.
You're now secretary of the new president, Mr. Marlowe. Yes, and he was Mr. Allen's hand-picked successor, which perfectly illustrates the kind of man Mr. Allen was. There was no love lost between them, and yet, recognizing Marlowe's outstanding business acumen, he named him as his heir, so to speak. Thank you, Mr. Linhart. You've been very helpful.
Okay, so do we think that he's sleeping with Lord Raglan's wife?
I think we got it.
That's the only. That's the only lord that's been mentioned
Raggers.
through the whole thing.
Yeah, 1000%.
Okay, where do we want to go next? Anything?
gossip.
You want to talk to...
That's where we're gonna get the truth.
Blind
Lord
nail pipe?
Raglan is gonna be like, he was fucking my wife.
No, but he might have something that says BH on it. If Lord Raglan,
Yeah,
Smoke.
let's not forget that
We could probably go to a smoke
cigarette-
shop.
That I'll say this about Wiggins. We're here 3 days later. I'm like, he missed this cigarette on this popular London street in the 1880s.
No,
when
it's in a shed.
Everybody
It was in a
smoked.
shed.
It was in the shed.
It was in
well,
the
people
shed.
don't smoke in a shed. That's a
You
fire
never.
hazard.
That's so dangerous.
So
in 1880s
I'm assuming
London.
there might be a B&H smoke shop, but it's probably like it'd be a popular brand to sell, but they would probably have a list of like who they sell the cigarettes to.
Yeah.
And if we can confirm if our early pitch is that Lord Raglan.
Bonds and Hans, tobacconists.
Bonds and Hans.
Sorry, I'm taking your job.
no.
But that got me really excited. We could go to 16 Northwest. I can't think of something funny for
Northwater.
To Bonds and Hans, which
Okay,
is a
so-
BH
Bonds and
cigarette.
Hans.
BH cigarette, but I mean, they would have a register probably of who bought the
You
cigarettes,
think
but
he'd
there's
recognize it?
about
What a boss.
The tobacconist never forgets a cigarette.
right, but how many people will have bought those cigarettes?
Yeah.
Probably a lot.
We probably want to.
I would love to suss out we know that the person who shot, we can assume that the person who shot Courtney smokes.
They all smoke.
Everyone's.
Everyone smokes. Everyone
Life is
smokes.
hard.
Right, life is hard. Everyone smokes.
I say as I'm smoking a cigarette. Everybody smokes.
Behind.
This might be like nitpicking, but the shed was 5 feet away from where the body was, and the body, he was shot at 2 feet. So could it be that whoever it was someone that he
Watched
knew,
it.
Like
It could have been.
knew whoever it was.
Were they
They got close to
meeting?
he was nervously smoking before he's like, I'm gonna kill this guy.
Or it could have been the case that, I mean, if this was behind the alley, this shed would have probably been, somebody would have had to know that that shed was there, right? Like if this is behind the Grant Arms Company, someone would be like, oh, I'm going to suss this out. Well, this murder was obviously very premeditated. I don't think it was done in the spur of the moment. But I think you're right. Like for that person he could have just shot them from inside the shed. Why would he?
Was he going to meet his murderer, perhaps,
Share a dart.
on a little picadillo?
Interesting.
Because if someone was hanging out in a shed, you know it's a great place for a shed? Not smoking, but maybe dilly-dallying.
Some picadillo.
Maybe some picadillos.
So he was shot by the woman he's...
Potentially.
I think he was shot by his brother.
The guy who's put us on the case?
Yeah.
Move to
Why?
solve, Yanis.
Because his brother works in stocks, which was very clearly mentioned and doesn't seem to factor in here at all. He is currently investing in coal and the sale to the government. If his brother wanted to buy the company, he wants the stock price to go down so that he can purchase the company.
Interesting.
So if he's framing someone so that the stock prices take a dip, because I don't know why they've mentioned that,
That's smart.
that he's a stock
And
exchange.
his brother has the brother gave him the suitcase, and so he probably would know the passcode maybe to the suitcase. And it said that there was a particular
Holmes picked the lock on the suitcase.
No, before that, but there was the SP10 folder
Yeah.
described as being put in the briefcase, but then it wasn't in the briefcase.
And that was
when
the
they
special
opened it,
project.
and
That was the special
project.
That's the special
The
project.
brother's the only one to mention the dilly-dalliance and like the 2 rings put inside the case. Maybe that was
Ring.
the
Let's go to a
client's.
jeweler.
But also the gun, like if it was the brother, what if, again, another hypothesis, what if the gun that overpowered at that close range would mean that there's something wrong with that pistol, like it's not shooting the way that it should shoot, so maybe there's a problem with the product as well, and that's going to affect the stock price. Maybe. I don't know.
Might be.
But I'm also thinking
I think that's an
that
interesting
it's the brother,
pitch.
but I feel like we don't have evidence yet. So where?
Go ahead, Michael.
Might be worth hitting up Mycroft if it's a government contract.
Secrets.
So yeah, if the SP10 folder's gone, then
Yes, the SP10 folder is gone.
The
Yeah.
question I have is the fact that someone tried to get into the briefcase and couldn't.
They slashed it.
Yeah, but the key to the briefcase
It was on the watch.
was on the watch.
And the watch is
And
gone.
the watch is gone.
Yeah.
So why did they not just
But the
open
chain
the briefcase?
was still attached.
The chain was still attached to his jacket. They ripped the watch and the key off.
And they took the key
And they
away.
took the key, but they didn't open the
So
briefcase.
trying to prevent somebody else from getting into the briefcase, but making a show of it looking like they were trying to get into
Or
the
they
briefcase. but maybe
didn't
got in.
know that the key opened the briefcase.
But there's
and
a
they
file
wanted
missing.
the watch for something else.
We
The
know there's a
SP10
file
is
missing.
Fuck.
Me.
Okay. The question is, where do we go next? Lord Raglan to tell him he's been cucked.
Hold on. Before,
Sorry to bring
Before
you
we
the
go-
bad news,
so
Rag.
Lord Raglan
I'm telling you.
should have been CEO,
The gossip.
Yes.
but got passed up.
On purpose
The
because
gossip
apparently he
person's
was
gonna
a
know.
poor businessman but a great technician. So he would have
He could know how to make a gun that kills someone at 2 feet away.
Yeah.
I think any gun.
Well, let's talk to Lord Raglan about it. Yes, Lord Raglan was the first.
Tim really wants to go to the gossip.
I just think that
So we
like
should
we're
Yes.
gonna
We
get
should honor-
we're gonna
everyone
get
should
the
get a pick.
dish on like what Lord Raglan's deal is. We're gonna get the dish on who this picadillo was. Like that person's gonna know, I think.
Okay.
And if they don't, I'm gonna look pretty dumb.
So who is this?
And that's going to be. Oh, it's not Quentin Hogg. Unfortunately. It is Langdale Pike, social columnist, knows all London
25W.
society gossip. That's
25
no
W.
2
2SW.
2
My
SW.
apologies. 2SW.
2
There will definitely be something in the
I know.
Ellie Waters.
Fuck.
No.
2 SW?
2 SW.
You sure?
Social columnist.
Because this one's short.
Oh boy.
Langdale Pike, gossip and scandalmonger extraordinaire, provides us with a very interesting answer to the question of Courtney Allen's latest liaison. At first, I kept it quiet, just to see how long before her husband realized. He whispers, marvelous. A bride of only a few months puts horns on an old goat? Now, in view of recent events, it would be tasteless to circulate. Catching Wiggins' look of impatience, Pike gets to the point. The Countess von Schulenburg.
Wait, no.
Countess
Sorry, that was
von
somebody else. I
Schulenburg.
thought that was the same name.
Of Vida Sang.
Countess von Schulenburg. There is something about the Germans in here, but it's not
The
that.
court circles room of the patrol of this is the weed.
Move to solve.
Okay, so a countess.
Have we been keeping how many places we've
Yes.
visited? Okay,
yes.
good.
We just were at the Grand. This one was Langdale Pike.
Langdale Pike. Langers.
There is no von Schulenburg in the directory.
Of course.
So the Countess
She's a countess.
von Schulenburg. And she's young, and she has, I'm assuming, has been married to Count von Schulenburg. Would he be at the German embassy, potentially? I don't know how many times we can say that on Twitch, so just be careful.
Schulenburg's in here.
What?
I don't
about
say von Schulenburg unless
Eyes
they spell
up.
it funny.
Eyes up.
Well, there's a baron. No, that's wrong. Never mind.
What do we want to do? Okay.
Schulenburg.
Do we?
They're not in there.
Could go to the embassy.
We could still talk. We are in South London. We could go over to talk to H.R. Murray, the criminologist who looked at the bullet.
And has the bullet.
Gonna tell us about
So,
Because he might have interesting things to say about.
What type of gun it was.
Yeah.
Because he would know everything about that.
Yeah.
Did you find something? Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh, where are we going?
Why, we're
What is the
going
address?
to 22 Smelly Water.
This is H.R. Murray at Scotland Yard.
This is Scotland Yard. 22 Scotland Yard.
22 small
Small world.
world. 22 small world.
H.R. Murray.
I certainly hope this is entertaining for the folks at home. I'm having a great time.
I don't think it is.
Oh, you dig around for it in here.
Yeah, but the number. Do we?
Oh no,
No,
this one, we
22.
just have this
22
one.
SW.
Oh, 22
This is my old friend. New friend for me, but he's
HR Murray Space Center.
space.
The HR Macmillan.
22 SW. Murray, right?
Social
Murray?
warrior.
Yes.
Okay.
Social work.
Professor
Doesn't care about
Murray
justice.
seems very busy when we arrive. He is
Good for
actually
him.
studying the contents of a beaker when we signal our presence with a strong cough.
Well done.
He turns around suddenly as he discovers our presence. His hair, which seems whiter than usual, frames his pale
Great
face
Scott.
and emphasizes even more the tiredness seen in his traits. It's you, Wiggin. What can I do for you? It's Wiggin, sir. We're investigating the death of Courtney Allen at his brother's request. Allen begins to mumble as he searches one of the numerous piles of papers cluttering his desk. File number 527. Not much to say about it. The bullet was found in the wall behind the victim. A large caliber, which literally pushed the victim back. The weapon that killed him wasn't a common one. Much less so when you take into account that it came from one of his factories. You mean that the pistol the killer used was one made in the Grant factories? Quite so, Wiggins. And what could you tell us about the cut on his briefcase? It seems curious that the killer had both a pistol and a knife, unless there were two of them. What knife? The cut definitely wasn't made by knife. It's not regular enough for that. I've also found scratches along the briefcase's length. This is all very odd. Thank you for your help, Professor. We tell him before he returns to the study of his beaker.
Scratches.
If it ends.
Doctor, sorry. The title of charlatan will suit him better.
Yes, we hear him grumble while we discreetly see ourselves out.
Dog?
A dog
So there
slashing?
was a slash, not by a knife, too irregular.
Maybe
And
claws.
scratches. Oh, scratches.
Scratches on the
Let's
edges.
circle. If we meet someone with a dog or a cat or anything else that scratches,
Or someone who smokes B&H.
B&H. We still can go to the B&H tobacconist. I think that'd be a real curveball for old
Yes.
Holmes.
We're already at
For a
5.
Smoking dog.
A smoking
Yes,
dog.
if one or
Looking for
two
a
people came in
smoking
with
dog
a
with a
dog,
knife and a gun.
but it came from his factory. That's
Countess with
useful.
a little Pomeranian.
So the gun, and would this be potentially the gun that would have been the new naval gun? It's a very it was a
No, but
rare
that's like
Powered
I don't
red.
know.
like a big
Right,
ship
like,
gun.
I think it's like
Okay.
a cannon.
Yeah, I think it's like a cannon.
Yeah.
Let's go to the tobacconist. Like, right.
Right?
So there's something in there about mining. And if you look in the back there under the New Guinea on the newspaper, it says New Guinea. Center column about halfway down.
Brisbane. That's you.
It says something about how they want to change the law so that the people in New Guinea can't have guns, and also something about mining. And he does mines and.
Want to read it aloud for all the...
The folks at home.
A series of proclamations have been published with reference to the future government of New Guinea. They prohibit the supplying of natives with firearms, intoxicating liquors, or opium, and forbid all attempts to remove natives from their homes. The proclamations also provide for the adoption of the laws and gold mining acts in force in Queensland, with payment of rewards for fines of gold at the option of the administrator.
Colonialism.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a drug.
So some places where you couldn't enforce colonialism through guns or liquor.
Well, they can't. No, they'll forbid the sale of guns.
Right.
And they'll have to pay people when they find gold. He's got gold and guns in his. That's like his whole deal. Mining,
Golden guns.
Golden guns.
Okay. Okay. Can I see
Oh,
your map, your
fines.
mind map for a second?
I want to talk to the
My
countess.
mind map.
I want to talk to Raglan. Let's.
Sure.
You can't get the Countess.
Can
She's
Can
not
we get
in
to
the mix.
Raglan?
I think
Go to
we should
Raglan,
find Lord Raglan, yeah.
I think it's time.
Do we
I think-
find him at his
so-
home or do we
But-
go
But,
to
but,
Let's talk a little
doesn't
bit-
the office?
But also doesn't the theory that
Yeah, two
Lord
people.
Lord
Let's
Raglan-
talk about this.
Lord Raglan also, I think we've removed the motive because it's not his wife.
No,
Definitely
it's
not
the
his
Countess.
wife.
The Countess.
Yeah, the Countess is the one
He will not be wearing the horns.
It's the Outview design
On
that makes sense.
Schulenberg.
So two people. So this is interesting. What if someone mugged him, tried to get in the briefcase, took the pocket watch with the key,
And then he was shot.
and then he was shot?
Bad day. What a bad day.
And he was shot by Richard Allen.
Why?
And Richard Allen is trying to pin it on whoever tried to
Rumpled
steal.
Allen?
Oh, maybe no. Okay, I'm gonna build on that. Maybe it was supposed to be just a mugging. Maybe it was supposed to be just a mugging, but they couldn't get the SP10 file out of the briefcase. So they had to shoot him to get it.
But there's still two people.
There's still two people, but one, so they made it look like a mugging gone wrong. But what they were really after was not the pocket watch and the wallet. They were after the SP10 file because that was missing. And if they had have had the key, they could have just opened the briefcase and taken the file.
But they didn't get into the briefcase.
I think
No, the briefcase was still locked.
That's
They
what
could
I'm
have
saying.
re-locked the
they
briefcase.
relocked it
Yeah.
and took the key with them.
Somebody
took the key
came
with them.
back, took
But
the
why
folder.
why would they take the key with them?
Why would they not
So
take
that
the
somebody
briefcase
else
if it was a
couldn't get
mugging,
into the briefcase.
or if it was intended to look like one?
Now, importantly,
Yeah.
And to make it look like nobody had.
shot with one of his guns.
Yes.
So this is not just some willing.
Feels like a
mugging.
statement.
This
Yeah.
is
Feels like trying to
this
send
is
a message,
somebody on
maybe.
the inside.
Yeah, who has access to the guns? His brother.
Guns and knows about the file, that the file was in there.
Yeah.
Sort of wants to, put some fear into CEOs.
So how about this?
That was special.
How about this?
We're gonna want to go to a certain McDonald's. And that's where we need to go.
Oh my god.
Dear.
His briefcase was filled with a bunch of Monopoly money. So, what if someone was trying to mug him with a knife?
Not a knife.
It wasn't a knife.
No, there was a knife.
No.
There was a knife that they were trying to open the briefcase with. That's why he says it's weird that they had a knife and a gun.
But he
But he
said,
said
it,
the
it
cut wasn't from a knife.
Yeah.
Too
It
irregular.
was too irregular, so it wasn't a knife.
But he did mention a knife.
No, Wiggins said something about a knife,
Wiggins
and then
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
H.R. Murray was like, "Shut up, Wiggins! You
Wiggin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
HR can
assumed
talk like
that
that.
there was a knife. There's no knife.
be silent,
What happened
boy."
to the briefcase?
We don't know.
But
It
that's why
got
I pitched a
scratched up.
dog.
Yeah, a little.
Where are we going next? This is the question.
Well,
I think we either want to go to the factory, where all the
12 Deverell, because that's
12
where the
Deverell.
rest of the special project stuff was.
and we also might find Lord Raglan there because that's where he does his tweaking.
Yes.
He tweaks out over.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
He left dinner with his brother,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he got a cab.
Obedison.
Talk to the cab people.
Look at this.
Cabbies. Hot cabbies.
Something you saw in the newspaper?
Yeah. Where is it? Metropolitan Police found in public carriages, cabs, omnibuses are deposited within the last month a number of articles including jewelry, purses, coats, cloaks, shawls, opera, field glasses, bags, umbrellas, walking sticks, books, etc. Application to be made at the Lost Property Office, Great Scotland Yard, Southwest, between the hours of 10 and 5. There's been stuff that have been lost in cabs. What if the pocket watch didn't get stolen? What if he lost his pocket watch and key
We'd
in
go
a
to the
cab?
Lost Property Office.
The chain
The chain
is
broke.
still attached.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but
wasn't it chained?
but what if it
to
broke
the
off?
briefcase?
The pocket watch was chained to his
Pocket.
suit
His
pocket,
lapel. Yeah.
and it wasn't there anymore. It wasn't attached to the briefcase.
Yeah, we could check and see if it was just lost.
What if he lost it? They confront him.
Yeah.
They can't get in,
And so they shoot him.
so they shoot him.
But wouldn't have they just taken the briefcase?
But the file is missing. There's a file that we know should be in the
No,
briefcase. That
I know, but I'm just saying that.
Can I have the book?
Yeah.
Who's this? There's a thing here in the thing that is SP10. This was Sunday, March 11th.
Special Project 10.
Special Project 10. It says Spaniard tonight, 10 p.m. a.m.
Is
A.m. is initials. It's not a time.
Is the
It's
Spaniard a place?
or a person.
SP10.
And he's recently bought a hat.
So the Spaniard. This might not be on Sunday. This might just be in there.
Oh, maybe that's SP10.
The like,
That's because he's written in code in his own.
right, but wasn't SP10 the file?
It's
Yeah,
Special
SP10
Project.
special
10.
file.
We do have an inn
But
called
Spaniard-
Spaniards
Okay.
over at 25 Southwest. We're currently in the Southwest. I think we walk on
Fun.
over.
I think we should go there.
It's a block
Go to
away.
Spaniards.
What is AM?
Initials.
Probably who he was going to meet.
No, that wasn't. That was a note that was left for him.
It says the note. The inventory includes. This is his notebook, and these are the notes.
Yeah, let's go Spaniards.
But AM is
So Spaniard.
not his initials.
That's
No,
what
it's
happens
a
before
person.
PM.
I think
you.
A.M is a person.
It's a late meeting at
And a
Spain.
Meridium.
Yeah, so tell you what, team, we're going to 25.
He was supposed
South
to meet the
Wales.
Spaniard tonight at 10 p.m. and he was meeting, I think, a.m. Okay, let's go to Spaniards.
25.
Who's got it? Who's got
Soccer
the-
watch. Sean?
It's in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Or you want to read one?
I read one and it sucked. Go for
All
it.
right. 25 South Wales. Okay.
Is it a big one?
It's a medium.
I'll take medium.
Medium.
Fine, nothing wrong with you.
The proprietor of Spaniards Inn is a most cooperative fellow for a small consideration. While he consults his records, we wait at the bar sipping a glass of beer.
Nice.
Probably warm and flat.
Two gentlemen with the initials AM reserved private rooms on the evening of March 9th, he tells us when he returns. Alexander Mishkin and Anthony Mariano. Can you tell us how to get in touch with them? I haven't seen either man before or since. Could you describe them? Well, that's as may be. March 9th was some days ago. Again, we grease his palm. It never ceases to amaze us how effectively a quid can jar a memory. Alexander Mishkin was a giant of a fellow.
How do I spell Michigan?
Mishkin.
Great.
He walked with a slight limp and spoke with an accent.
Oh, nice.
He arrived at 9 and ordered supper. An English gentleman, about 30, I would say, joined him later. Also, both Mishkin and the Englishman carried identical briefcases. Curiously enough, Anthony Mariano also ate alone and was joined by another man. His reservation was for 8:30. Could you describe Mariano? Oh, about the same age as the Englishman. 30-ish. Swarthy. Shifty eyes. Medium height.
Nothing wrong with medium.
We thank him for his information and start to leave when he reminds us that we have not paid for our drinks. But then again, he adds, catching the black look Wiggins throws at him and jingling the coins in his hand. Suppose we just call it even. Alexander Mishkin.
At what time?
Limpy.
They met at 9, he said.
And spoke with an
What
accent.
time did they
Mariano met at 8 and Mishkin was at 9.
Mariano was 8. His reservation was 8:30.
8:30.
And his booking was for 10?
Yeah, it was at
That's
10
Spaniards?
at Spaniards. It's at 10 p.m. with an a.m. I'm assuming it's Mishkin?
So sorry, this was on the
Has an
9th?
accent too.
Yeah.
So
This was on the night of the
9th,
murder.
Yeah, because he said Michigan arrived at 9, and an English gentleman about 30
No, he was
joined
dead by
him
then.
later.
He was found at 7 p.m. on that evening.
He was found at 7 p.m., but in his notebook, in his date book, he had an 8:30 appointment with Captain Egan on that day. Which matches up with the same
This
time.
was on March
Michigan.
9th.
Right.
Yeah.
And Captain Egan's an English naval officer or an American?
Said Admiralty.
Oh, well, that's English.
Yeah.
He's an ordnance officer.
So someone came to that meeting with identical briefcases.
Yes.
Identical
Someone was
briefcase to Michigan's. They had the
Yeah.
same briefcase. Michigan and whoever he met.
Hmm.
Mariano didn't have a briefcase.
Mishkin is not in the phone book.
So
He's not from here.
Mishkin.
From me.
Foreign affairs.
I
He
mean,
has an accent.
he has an accent.
We could.
So-
There's the guy
I'll
who.
be
An
his name.
unspecified.
Mishkin.
So no, it's more Russian.
Michigan's Russian.
Could
But-
be a code name.
So what if? Hold on it.
Yeah.
When did Richard say he had dinner with his brother Courtney
5:30 supper at Keen's.
Wow, legend.
at Keen's? And so then he goes.
does
oh,
puzzles for a living.
And then he goes. Then he goes back to the factory.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
He goes back to the factory, probably to get the fucking briefcase.
He goes
Yeah,
to get the
for his
briefcase.
because they're having a briefcase club.
And
All of them
no
have
one-
the same briefcase.
Okay.
And then
Don't
he
talk
goes
about
in place of.
Yeah, because
He's
he-
selling the information. He's selling
He's selling the
Special
information to
Project
the
10.
Russians
Or the
Russians.
or the Germans, but
I
Michigan
think we
is
should go to an embassy.
So
Foreign affairs officer?
He's selling it, but someone goes in his stead.
whoever shot him.
Could be. We could see Mycroft.
Yeah.
So you would know.
And
How
say it might
old
be unnecessary, but I'd love to talk to
is-
Mycroft.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
or
They've never met in person. Like if someone who was going to, if it was like the person who was going to, because so if Courtney was going to sell the information to Mishkin, they likely had never met in person before. It was probably all done through correspondence. And so whoever it was then took that and went to that meeting. Because
Yeah.
Mishkin still had a meeting that evening.
Yeah.
Mariano had very shifty eyes, and I think
Swarthy?
how old?
he is in the phone book. We can find this guy, or at least his mom.
Alan was old because
Which
he
one?
says that the Countess is very young, and he said that the person like that
Wow.
Right.
that he was old.
People died very young.
So yeah,
So if
just because both people were in their 30s at the meeting.
So would it be a young person potentially that shot?
If we go with
Alan.
this theory that whoever shot Courtney then went to the meeting, we are looking for an English man.
In London.
Approximately 30.
But that rules
I'd like
out
to
his
move to
mistress.
Saul.
That rules out the mistress von Stup.
So not the
In,
brother then.
in
at the
court
meeting.
circles, it is rumored that the betrothal of Prince Louise of Schleswig-Holstein, sister of the Empress of Germany,
German embassy.
is betrothed with the Prince Leopold of Prussia.
The Prussians.
German
And
Russian
Russian.
connection.
Okay, hear me out. So
Prussia's not
the
Russian. but-
Countess von what's her face? Countess von Schulenburg
Yeah.
is helping broker this deal between because if she's German nobility, she would probably have links
No,
to
she married into German nobility. Her husband has a title.
Okay, well then he's probably got a vested interest in it, or maybe she's doing it to fuck him over.
We go to the tobacconist or what?
I like the idea of Mycroft for like government info.
Yeah.
Do you need the book?
Tobacconist for Flavor.
also potentially
Flavor
the guy
Town.
who does foreign foreign
I'd
news.
like to see Guy Fieri at Flavortown.
Henry Ellis potentially
At the Times.
at the Times because he talks about foreign news.
I would say we go see Moriarty. Let's skip
Mycroft
Mycroft.
Home.
I would
Mycroft?
say we go see
Okay,
Mycroft.
let's go see Mycroft.
Mycroft Home. You're not going to
Michael.
believe this team. He's also in South Wales. This is amazing.
South Wales.
Michael, why don't you do one?
At the Diogenes Club.
Eminence Greece, they say. Wow, neat. All things politics and government. Over to the Diogenes Club at South Wales.
Do you want to pass
Take it
Michael a
away,
bit?
Michael.
Who's got the book?
Danielle does.
EC.
Yes.
Good for
Wonderful.
8 South Wales.
South Wales.
I think we're doing pretty good here, team.
Well,
I think we're gonna clean
Fuck,
Sherlock's
We're doing awesome. It's
is it so small?
It's not medium.
No.
Oh, it's medium.
More.
Okay.
It's aggressively medium. We are joined by Mycroft Holmes in the Strangers Room of the Diogenes Club. How can I be of help to you, Master Wiggins?
That's right. We can't go into the club because we don't belong, so we have to go into the street. Yeah.
Sad.
Mr. Holmes, we're working on a case with your brother. Could you help us with any information on the Grant Arms Company? Of the company, I know very little, says Mycroft, settling his great bulk into an armchair. I do know that they are working on a secret project for the Admiralty, which apparently I'm totally okay just talking about. Who else might have known? The fact of the project is certainly common knowledge amongst the arms community. The details are only known by a few. Who would be most interested in obtaining those details? Delguera, Zobar, and Meshtkov, certainly. The military attachés for Spain, France, and Russia, respectively.
Okay, so Spain, France.
Then, of course, Count von Schulenburg.
Oh shit!
It all goes back to Schulenburg.
It has long been suspected that he is more than simply the German attaché, so we're looking for the German embassy.
The Germans.
A spy? Let me put it this way, and you draw your own conclusions. His bride is not, in fact, his new bride. Her name was Frida Rudel 4 months ago, and her name is still Frida Rudel.
Frida Rudel.
What? Okay, could read that again. What does that mean?
So plot sickens.
Actually married.
So
His
they're not
bride
actually
is
married.
not, in fact, his bride.
spies.
Her name was Frida Rudel 4 months ago, and her name is still Frida Rudel.
So his so
It's a countess.
so
It's
he
not a
thought
countess.
so he thought she was a countess and she's actually a spy.
Yes.
They're all spies.
Yeah, they're all spies.
Spies all the way down.
So there was
German
the
embassy? Because he's the
No,
attaché.
the Germans are never going to tell us anything.
No, but we could corner him and
We have
threaten him.
ways of making them talk.
We want to talk to this guy because maybe
Is there more?
That's it.
Okay.
No.
Herr Schulenburg.
so there's okay. So let's put this together.
I still think Richard Allen is involved.
He might very well be.
But we gotta find the evidence for it.
So
No, we don't.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not how this game works.
so
You're not gonna believe this team. The German embassy is also in South Wales. We're right
Everything
there.
is pointing to South Wales.
why don't we pick one more place to go and then we'll take a break.
German embassy?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
way over
We're at
there.
8 South Wales. It's next door. The Diogenes Club in South Wales. German embassy. Let's do it.
Okay, well let's do the
do
German
it.
embassy then.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
I want to solve the case.
I want to know.
Fuck.
Is it 10
It's small.
points?
This one's
It's very tiny.
very tiny. However,
It just says, we did it.
it was us. At the German
Pocket
embassy.
sand.
We are told that Count von Schulenburg is out, but that his aide, Colonel Frederick von Kraushofer, that's Kraushofer, will see us. The colonel is an impressive figure, tall, slim. He gives us an imperious, one-eyed stare from behind a monocle.
Oh, I thought he had an iPad.
I was hoping so. He is at a loss over our only question. Not from any lack of knowledge on his part, but at our temerity
There it is.
in asking it. After a long pause, he finally relents. He retreats to his desk and flips through the pages of the record book. The Count left the embassy at 4:45 p.m. on March 9th. Beating the colonel to the punch, as it were, we summarily dismiss ourselves.
Good day.
That's a good thing.
I think.
Okay, theory. I'm here for it.
Theory that maybe the Countess met with Alan in the alleyway. She shot him and then gave the contents of the briefcase to the Count who went to the meeting in the Spaniards.
No,
But they
because
said
he
it was
met
an
an
English-
Englishman.
Counterpoint.
And my theory is
Because
that
all the
Schulenberg
all the German
is
people have thick
German
Okay.
and
Counterpoint.
has a
Counterpoint.
German accent.
Counterpoint. Counterpoint.
You're right.
Three people interested in it. The Germans, the Russians, and the Spanish.
And the
right?
French, right?
No,
They met at the Spaniards. It was the French.
no, there was
I
this-
thought you said there was Delgare, a Russian.
Luckily, we go back to Mycroft next door.
Zobaro.
Del Guerrera, Zobar, and Meshkov.
Yeah, Del Guerrero.
Spain,
Yeah.
France, and Russia,
Okay.
respectively.
So, this is my
And
thinking.
then the German.
So, the Germans, how are
No,
the
and
Germans?
then-
He does, man, and then he goes on to
But
mention.
also, there's von
Okay,
Stutenberg.
so my thought is he was selling it to the highest bidder. He was meeting all three. So he met the Russian, then he met the Spaniard booked under the same AM.
Oh, so was
Or sorry, he met the German or whatever, the French under the same AM, and he was supposed to meet the Spaniard at 10 p.m.
right. He would have met Delgare at 10 p.m.
guy.
But he
If-
never made it to that meeting because he was.
But no one showed up at 10.
Okay, hear me out. So
Well, no, but he didn't mention anything about 10 p.m. But it's definitely he had a booking with the Spaniard, maybe somewhere
so
else.
AM was probably a name that he gave to like an alias. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna come to the Spaniard and you're gonna meet me under this name,
Yeah.
right?
So he was having multiple meetings
So
with different
Mesh-
delegations, seeing
Meshkov
who was interested.
Could be Mishkin, Andrew Mariano. I don't know.
Now, he was swarthy. Spanish.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it out loud, but that is a way that they are described sometimes.
The other guy had an accent.
Okay, we are gonna take.
Billy, the secretary, finds out.
How'd you pronounce that word?
Billy,
Secretary?
the
Secretary.
I like it.
His mom. It
Mabel?
was her birthday.
She
Has
wasn't,
caramels.
she wasn't there.
She wasn't at the meeting. Wasn't at the meeting.
Okay.
What's her first name?
Let's go back to her house.
So we are going
Amelia Mabel, A.M.
We are gonna take a tight 10-minute break while we do our best not to pitch theories while we're on break. Stick around for our art break as well as an ad for God Killer Balance. Grab a snack, grab your detective hats because we're gonna need
Help us.
Help us. See you soon for part 2.
Suave.
Okay, bye.
There comes a time in everyone's life where they must choose, weighing the options before them to help them carve a path ahead. These decisions are often fraught and complicated, especially when the allure of power sits just outside your grasp. What would you do if told that you were meant to change the world? Would you carry your title proud and strong? Would you eschew your role, shying away from your foretold purpose? And how do you do that if it means challenging everything you thought you knew about your morals, your heritage, and most of all, the way you love? With the great divine war just behind us, we find two mortals on the cusp of divinity, grappling with what it means to be truly human, deeply flawed beings in a deeply flawed world on the precipice of the unknown.
I'm Gina Susanna, and I'm playing Ever Halassian. And I'm not the God Killer.
I'm Yanis Vessels, and I'm playing Rake, the Void in Flight. And I am not the God Killer. Not yet.
This BlackwaterDnD podcast series is Balance. My name is M. Carlson, and once again, I'll be your god, or your game master. While this game is still a duet, we've decided to expand our horizons and broaden the universe of our cradle, and we'll be welcoming new voices to our table as beloved characters throughout the story. This tale takes us back, long before the end of the universe, to a time where we begin to explore and understand old divine wounds that run so very deep, and what happens when love is caught in the middle. So bring your talons, your incense, and your family secrets, because you're gonna need it. God Killer Balance, sponsored by Hero Forge and Moonbeam, comes soon to wherever pods are cast. Until then, heretics, be safe.
When the world is in trouble and you don't know what to do, some mess for you. So pull up a chair because you're welcome at the table. Come watch us save the multiverse. So turn up the TV and come watch some D&D. Blackwater, we'll roll some dice for you.
too far away. Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay.
So
We're trying to figure out which is closer to where we are right now.
Which is
game
not
doesn't work
how
on
the
the
office or the
for the
tobacconist.
rules.
Where's the office?
It doesn't say.
Whichever's closer. Oh, yes, it does. The gun. It's a gun
you
shop.
have the directory.
I'm the person we want to talk to. Oh no.
Grant
Arms and Co. So we are in South Wales. Grant Arms and Co. is in EC,
East Closet.
East Closet, or we could go to New Wales. I think East Closet. We're in South Wales. Here's New Wales. That's East Closet. Yeah, we want to go to New Wales.
New Wales, then East Closet.
New Wales, then East Closet. Absolutely.
Bada bing.
Yes, it's his notebook. It is confirmed to be his notebook.
To Bonds and Hans.
Bonds and Hans.
16 New Wales.
Okay,
Who has
16
it?
NW.
Hold on, I just want to point something out before we go. I'll
Okay.
write it down. 16 NW.
Okay.
so that I remember.
Let's see where this goes. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let them
The
in.
writing on the note here is different than the writing in the notebook. The envelope that was in here had a bunch of stuff in, including his wedding band
Good for him.
And the ruby ring.
and the ruby ring. Why was it all in an envelope?
Cursed ruby ring.
Maybe it was just his effects.
Maybe
But
they-
inside the briefcase, right?
maybe our spy friend, the woman, pretending to be
Frida.
Frida,
Frida Rudolph.
she seduced him. She stole these items to get him to trade them back for the folder.
Maybe.
He exchanged the folder for these items so that getting his notebook back with all the information in it because it would compromise his project.
I think that could absolutely work. How do we prove it?
I still think it's his brother.
Then off we go to
the
Bonds and
tobacco.
Hans.
Bonds and
16
Hans.
NW.
16 New Wales.
Who's gonna read it?
Water closet.
Give me the.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Sean.
I know. I'm just looking for NW.
I'm
Mr.
hot
Bonds
on
and
the
Hans.
tobacconist.
16.
I think.
I'm hot for the.
Very small.
God.
Yes.
Here's what we're looking for.
Swarthy man.
If this guy describes anyone
He goes.
at all,
It wasn't me.
or an
As
accent,
he's
we know
spinning a
who did it.
pistol.
Or a woman.
A salesman, good start, identifies the cigarette end as that of Bonds and Hans Imperial. It is quite an expensive blend of Turkish and Virginia tobaccos.
So we're lurking. It will.
So someone who likes tobacco
Inexpensive
from
tobacco.
anywhere in the world. Very strong, yet very smooth. It's not a cigarette for the casual smoker, but rather
Professional smoker.
Filthy casual.
for a connoisseur. Imperials are made to order, are they not? Oh, but of course. The Imperial is a relatively new brand, and the client list is very small and exclusive. Fuck me.
Exclusion.
May we see the list? The
He goes like
salesman
this.
reaches under the counter and pulls out a small
gun. He
ledger
pulls out a gun.
that lists the following 12 names. There's a visual aid. Henry Higgins. I'm not sure all of these are going to be important.
The Music Man?
Oh shit, team. Oh shit. I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to get to the exciting one. Henry Higgins, Sir Clayton Partridge, Lord Henry Ragland, Lord Henry Ragland, Gregory Cardiff, Chelsea Carles, Richard Maynard, Emily Z. Obar, Montgomery Eustace, Count von Schulenberg, Rudolph Noble, Gilbert Welch, and Richard Camp.
Damn it!
Okay, so
Lord Henry Ragland.
Ragland
the Count.
and Schulenberg both smoke.
Raglan and the Count. Maybe they're one and the same.
So it's we gotta talk to Ragland. We've got
to talk
we
to
don't know
Raglan.
where von Schulenberg is. We gotta nail that.
He's in the wind, man.
Yeah. We went to his office. He wasn't there.
You'll never find him.
He's not in the book.
It's because he got the folder and he
He doesn't play your little game.
All right, what about Moriarty, though?
Moriarty.
I think that's the 10th case is Moriarty.
We gotta go to the gun place. We gotta go to the gun office.
We gotta go to the one to find wherever we can find
To the
Grant.
office.
Offices
To see Lord Raglan.
of Grant.
Gunsmiths.
Was-
We are going to 5
That's where we've
Echo Chamber.
5 EC.
Wait, we already did that
East closet.
one. Oh, we did? Then
The 12 Devlin is the 12 Deverell. Where's Deverell Street? On here on the map.
Oh, I don't know.
12 Deverell.
Yeah, the plant. It's the plant. Is 12 Deverell.
Is it called something?
Isn't that where the plant was where
No.
the murder crime happened?
Yeah, which is the same.
I
as
thought the
thing.
offices were where it happened. The plant is a different place.
Oh, we went to the wrong place before.
I thought I thought we went to 12 Deverell. Wasn't that where we met Billy?
Yeah, that was where the murder crime happened.
Because what is it?
So
5
that was outside
EC?
the offices then. We didn't actually go to the
What's
plant.
the other
No.
Oh, we did spend
Okay.
a lot of time in EC, that's right.
place?
5.
What was the?
East
That's
closet.
not-
Yes, we did go to 5 EC because I'd never found
That's
the
not
5
on
number.
Deverell though.
No.
Embarrassing mistake on the cartographer.
I can't.
You should be able to look at it. It might be in the directory
Here's
where.
12 Deverell Street.
12 Deverell Street.
Is 12 SE.
12 SE.
We've never
We've
gone
never been to South
England.
England.
Yeah,
Oh, would it be
Somerset.
12
under
SE.
his
fuck
name?
it. Let's
Oh,
fire
we
it up.
found it.
You want to tackle this one?
Sure.
So this is the plant.
Oh, SW.
And the one we thought the plant was
Water
before
closet.
was the office.
Was the office. He was killed outside the office, not the
Okay.
factory.
The
In
plot
the factory. This is the factory.
South England?
South England.
Okay.
Where are you, Ragland?
Okay.
Find you, you sneaky little rat.
Oh. 12
SE.
South
SE?
Sugar.
Oh, I'm in EC. That's just a completely different. You know, what's
Letters are
The thing about cardinal directions is
Southwest.
northwest area? Is there a?
SE first.
maybe it's not in
Someone stall.
there. Sometimes it's just not in there.
No.
Is
that's,
there anywhere we want to go after this? Let's pitch that while they're finding things.
Ooh,
It's got to be right at the very front.
you would think. Somebody stall.
Somebody is also looking.
12 SE. I got it. It was the first one.
Fantastic.
It's where you should have gone
No, it was
first.
the second one. It was the second
Okay,
one. It was the
okay,
second one.
Alrighty. We enter the typically grimy manufacturing environment of the Deverell Street plant.
Nice.
Lord Raglan ain't here, but I could show you to Mr. Kehoe's office. He's the governor's assistant.
Mr. Kehoe?
Mr. Kehoe, K-E-H-O.
Mr. Kehoe.
It is evident that Walter Kehoe has come up through the ranks and would be more comfortable in overalls than his present ill-fitting tweeds. With meaty paws, he tugs at his shirt collar and asks us our business. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Allen's visit here on the
Also-
morning of March 9th?
I'm going to pause this for you. We need to also be looking for anyone with a limp. Because Mishkin
Oh, limpy.
was a giant guy with a limp
And an
an
accent.
accent.
An accent.
Action.
Grave.
Odd, I thought it was, so I remember right enough. Mr. Allen comes to see his nibs, Lord Ragland, but he weren't here. Mr. Allen says he'll wait in the office. Do you know why Mr. Allen came to see Lord Ragland? Now, I wouldn't be knowing their business, but it was most likely about Project Number 10, it being secret at all. There was hangers-on around the plant, foreigners and whatnot. Do you know what
Foreigners have accents.
Foreigners do have accents. We're breaking this case wide open. Do you know what transpired when Lord Ragland returned? What? Well, he never did return. Leastways, not before Mr. Allen left. I was called away, and when I gets back, Mr. Allen, he hands me a note. Says it came for Lord Ragland, and I was to be sure he gets it. He also says that he'll see Lord Ragland some other time, and perhaps it's best I don't even mention he came by. Lord Ragland was in a bit later, stayed for a couple of hours, and left for the day. Odd it was. A begrimed workman enters and informs Kehoe of some problem with a piece of machinery. I'll be back in a moment, gents. Why don't you wait in Lord Ragland's office?
Nice.
Left to our own devices, when Kehoe and the workmen leave, we can't but notice a drawer in Ragland's desk, partially open. And of course, we can't help but peek in. We do not discover much of interest, only a stack of invoices and a bundle of stock certificates. One of the invoices is from Radford, Jones and Company for 140 guineas. It is dated September 5th, 1887 and stamped paid March 10th, 1888. The stock certificates are in 5,000 share denominations for several different companies, among them Duckett Paper Mills and Stevenson Iron Works. We managed to close the drawer just before Kehoe returns. A little kick in the slats always does a trick. Now, where were we? That's a very impressive safe. All plans are kept under lock and key, to be sure. Would you take us to someone who could tell us about project number 10? Well, the only one around now would be Richard Camp. He was an engineer on the project. Not on it anymore, but he can tell you a thing or two. Kehoe leads us back through the office and out into the corridor. The noise of the plant, curiously insulated in Raglan's office, grows stronger as we approach Camp's office. We knock and enter, but the office is vacant. He may be down on the line. Let me check. Kehoe's second absence gives us a chance to prowl around Camp's office. The desk is littered with plans and formula notations, none of which mean anything to us. Next to a cigar humidor is a framed photograph of a young woman. She is very pretty with extremely long dark hair, and she radiates a bright, dimpled smile. Somewhat blurred in the background is a vaguely familiar cathedral with 2 square-topped towers. Before we can rummage further, Kehoe returns. Mr. Camp left early, it seems. Not feeling well. Well, thank you for your time.
A cathedral with square-topped towers. That feels like that means something.
He's sick with guilt.
What's his fucking name?
Richard
Camp?
Camp?
Richard
Was he
Camp.
not? Was
With
he
a
not
C?
on the? Was he not on the cigarette list as well?
No.
No.
There was a something Camp, wasn't there? Yeah, there was a Richard Camp. He was the last one on the list.
It actually was Richard Camp, yes.
Oh, another player has entered the arena.
Oh, y'all were actually writing those down.
So he smokes. So he smokes Imperials as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
A
we
little,
have,
a little above
Richard?
his.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are we back in New Wales?
I feel like.
'Cause Richard Camp lives just down the street.
I feel like
Let's
Raglan
go
and
talk to
Schulenberg
Mrs.
at
Camp.
this point might be red herring. I feel like
Well,
if
Raglan has stocks.
Raglan has stocks.
And
Yes.
Schulenberg's in the wind.
And
Richard Camp's down.
his stocks were. Sorry, go ahead, Danielle.
No, you go.
His stocks were for a steelworks plant and a paper plant.
Good for him.
Paid March 10th.
That's
Paid
In-
March.
a day
In-
after
a day
the
after.
crime.
In
Yeah.
guineas.
Oh, in guineas, that's big money.
Well,
I don't know what a guinea is.
What country is that
That's
from?
what pigs are often. It's what they use to shrink a pig.
Is it from New Guinea?
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure though? Because it's very much in the title.
I don't know.
Guineas were a minted coin in Great Britain.
Minty.
A
A minty
But
coin.
today, I mean, a
Wait.
guinea contains 7.5 grams of gold.
Is that Notre Dame? A cathedral with 2
2 square
I
tops.
Two square tops?
The Big Ben. I forget what that's called.
Big Ben Big Ben?
Not a cathedral.
That's Parliament.
That area.
Oh, in
Cathedral
France.
with 2 square tops?
The West-
that looks
Westminster
like
and
Notre
Westminster.
Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, France. That's one of the
So that's
French people
French.
have accents, often can be swarthy and
And
shifty.
so that would be
But it's
of
a
the.
pretty girl.
And they love to smoke.
But is that? Do we? Okay, but like, so that's Zobar.
Zoba.
Is the French? Was the
Bonjour.
French?
And also on the list.
Is
We
he
could go
on,
to the French embassy
He
just
was
for
on the
kicks.
smoking
So I
list.
was on the smoking list.
Wait,
Emile
shit.
Zobar?
Let me go back to that list.
He's the
A real
French
hit
delegate.
list. Because of course we have good taste.
Yeah, Emile Zobar.
Yeah.
Let me read this list one more time because everyone on this list is
everyone
important.
on the list now.
Henry Higgins,
Okay.
Sir Clayton Partridge, like the bird, Lord Henry Raglan,
Yes.
Gregory Cardiff, Chester Carlet or Carles, depending where he's
Carlet.
from, Richard Mainhard or Mainhand. It's tough to tell. Emile Zobar. Montgomery Eustace. EU Case. Count von Schulenberg. Rudolph Nobel. Gilbert Gottfried Welch.
Gilbert.
Finally, Richard Camp.
Okay, so Richard Camp, Ragland,
Richard.
Schulenberg, and Zobar are now all of our.
We could go to
So
the French
then-
embassy.
I think Richard Camp is right down the street. He wasn't here.
right there.
Mysterious. We should
And he
not.
said he went home sick.
Yes, we should. Sick with
And he's-
Guilt.
He's gonna be home. He's right there.
Okay,
we
so
have to
let's
catch
go.
him.
Let's
with
go to
guilt.
camp.
He's not on the project anymore.
He's not on the project. He was, but he got kicked off the project.
Because he was
of
selling
course.
secrets.
Let's go see camp.
23 New Wales. Who wants it?
I'll do it.
Get old Dickie Camp.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet the
Dickie
ball.
Camp.
It's okay.
Let's go to Dick Camp.
23 new whales? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
One time.
23,
Yes, 23.
New Wales.
Ah ha ha! Does it go on to the... It goes on to the next page.
One time at Dick Camp.
Oh, wow.
We find Richard Camp in the sitting room of his bachelor apartment, nursing a cold and looking thoroughly miserable.
Guilt.
As he pours a spoonful of Dr. Sari's magic elixir, he is seized with...
Wait, we've heard that name before. Fucking HR old man said, Mr. Sorry's. That guy's a charlatan.
Oh.
This guy's drinking snake oil.
Snake
He's
oil.
sipping opium.
He is seized with a fit of sneezing, causing the liquid to spill down his shirt front like an idiot.
His fanny pack explodes open. Spaghetti flying everywhere.
Blast! He curses. He flings the spoon across the room and takes a slug. It's a total Lazzi. Across the room, it takes a slug straight from the bottle. Ill health puts me in an ill temper, he says, by way of an apology. We're sorry to inconvenience you, but we would like to ask you a few questions. Would you tell us why you were removed from project number 10? Lord Raglan simply assigned me elsewhere. Since project 10 was well along, he felt I would be more useful in other areas. He also mentioned that my visits to the French embassy had been misinterpreted in some quarters, and perhaps it would be a politic move. Your visits to the French embassy? I'm secretly engaged to the daughter of the vice consul. Her father is a most difficult man. Her uncle, Emile Zobar, is sympathetic to us. Since I work for an arms company and he is the military attaché, my visits there were ostensibly to see him. Both Mr. Allen and Lord Raglan were well aware of the real reasons for my visits. Did you ever discuss Project 10 with Monsieur Zobar? No, I would never. And where were you on the evening of March 9th? I met up with Annette, my fiancée at Rules. We had quite a long dinner after what I escorted her back to the embassy, as I met her uncle on my way out. He thanked me for the gift I had given him for his last birthday, a box of Bonds and Hans Imperials, his favorite brand.
That's why he bought the cigarettes.
But he added that these little favors would not save me if I ever made his favorite niece cry. The face he had at that very moment sent a chill down my spine. Thank you for your help, Mr. Camp. We wish you a speedy recovery.
So he was at the embassy.
But-
And it sounds like Zobar
But
has an alibi.
Zobar was leaving just as he was leaving, correct? So he had been at the embassy before, so it's not...
And thanked him for the cigarettes.
Like, so did Richard give Zobar the cigarettes? Or
Yes.
Zobar...
He bought them for Zobar.
So Zobar buys himself the cigarettes. Richard
Richard
Camp
bought it for
also
Richard
buys
bought
the
it.
cigarettes
Is that his
for...
No, he met her uncle on his way out. As I met her uncle on my way out. So
Okay.
he was leaving. His uncle was at the embassy.
I understand.
Because she dropped
So
him.
he'd been
He
there-
dropped her off at the
So he could have been going
No Zubar.
to a murder.
I don't... It sounds like
They said
this
it was
is
a
maybe an
late-
alibi for Zobar.
A late dinner because
Late
Alan was
after
killed at 7 p.m., which would have been early.
And they took a long time at that dinner.
They sure did.
They
So
made
he was
very-
there
Yeah,
at the...
so
okay.
no Camp, no Zubar.
Ragland.
So it's Ragland or Schulenberg.
Or Richard Allen.
Okay, so how do we track down Ragland and how do we track down Schulenberg?
Shit.
Talk to
Oh,
Brian
Ragland's probably in the... he lives
What's his
here.
first name?
Henry.
Henry
Lord Henry Ragland.
What about, how do we track down Frida Rudel?
Frida Riddle.
She's in the wind. We don't know.
The Schulenbergs.
There's
Lord Henry Ragland, 56, South Wales.
I think
Okay,
we must.
I'm
Because
gonna...
Schulenberg, not in the...
think it's you.
Wait,
Me?
wait. Shh. We looked up von Schulenberg, but not Schulenberg von.
56 is a
Also
juicy
not
one.
in there.
Maybe at the end.
56 is a juicy one.
We went to the embassy. His
Who
dickhead
went to-
colonel.
That's Raglan. I think you got to take
56 is
Raglan.
a juicy one.
Okay.
So that's Ragland.
I love you.
He's crying over the guilt of murdering his friend.
Lord Ragland's man, Bunting, admits us to his residence and shows us into the study to wait. We are almost impressed by Lord Ragland's establishment as we are with Lord Ragland himself when he arrives. At 30, he is the picture of an English gentleman. Impeccably groomed with grace and style, at once attractive and forbidding.
Wait, he's an Englishman.
At 30.
In his
Anthony.
30s.
Englishman met a guy
Yeah,
with
he
A
read
30-ish
under Anthony
or
Moreno.
so.
He met Michigan.
And Michigan.
He met Michigan with a giant briefcase, or an identical briefcase. Okay.
has a limit.
Oi, bunting.
The introduction is completed. He seats himself from us by walking to the other side of the desk. Seating himself, he asks us to begin. Before we can, however, he notices an envelope on the desk and immediately calls for Bunting. Drummond's has slipped up again. See that this was posted immediately. Excuse me, gentlemen. Debt where a credit should be, or some such. Please begin. On the night of Alan's murder, he had an appointment with Captain Egan. Yes, the purchasing office for the Naval Ordnance at the Admiralty. We were working on a secret project for them, and Courtney was concerned about one of the engineers, Richard Camp, being a security risk. We discussed it that morning. I gave no credence to the idea. Lord Raglan pauses to reach into a small silver box. From it, he draws a cigarette which has B&H printed on it in gold leaf. He inserts it into an ebony cigarette holder, lights it, and leans back. Without our prompting, he continues.
Equally. Pinched equally.
Cigarette
because it's in
holder.
a cigarette holder.
No, Camp is a fine fellow, but as a concession to Egan, I removed him from the project and assigned him elsewhere. Tragic, Courtney's death. I think that I had intended to stop by the offices that evening, but was forced to work late at the plant. If I had, perhaps the thief would have thought twice before tackling the two of us. Were you disappointed about not being named president? You were, after all, senior vice president. Not a bit of it. I am quite happy in my work in the technical areas. Administrative matters do not interest me. Besides, one of Marlowe's conditions of employment was that he succeeds Courtney when Courtney retired. That, of course, would not have been for many years. Thank you, Lord Ragland. Okay, so if it was pinched equally, cigarette holder,
That's all he had to say?
That's it.
That's all the questions?
And he had
Fucking Wiggins
and he had the
wanted to
bonds
answer.
in his desk drawer.
And there was something on his desk that he was like,
And
"Hey,
he
bring
wanted
this."
to
Yeah.
send to who fucked up again?
Bunting.
No, Bunting's his man, but he said fucking
Bunting's my boy.
Duggery.
Drummond slip up again. See, this was
Drummond.
posted immediately.
Did he lie just now and say that he was working
Yes.
late when
Yes.
he wasn't there?
He lied when he said he was. Yeah. Okay,
I feel
so
like he's the guy who was at the meetings then.
yes, he would have
I think-
gone to the meetings.
I thought Bunting wasn't the 30s guy.
No.
Wasn't
No,
that
no,
his man
at
Bunting?
30. Raglan's
Oh,
is the
no,
picture
no,
of
that
him
is
with the
Raglan.
gentleman.
Ah.
Okay, so if it is
Drummond's Bank, 26,
Drummond's,
West Closet.
so if Drummond's fucked up, but they wouldn't have been able to give us any
Drummond,
money about it.
you m-
Drummond's has slipped up again. See, this is posted immediately. So the bank's fucked up again for some reason. Why? Okay, so if it is Ragland, why did he do it? It wasn't because of the
Motive.
It wasn't. What's his motive? That will be asked. What's the motive for the murder?
I believe that he
Did
did
he want to sell the secrets?
Because that's why he met with Mish. Here, go
Yeah,
ahead.
what was the commentary about the handwriting? Because there's handwriting commentary.
Because Mishkin, he met with Mishkin. Absolutely, was the one who met with Ragland, whoever Mishkin is.
Maybe he was selling secrets.
Maybe he had the briefcase.
They had
And it was a
identical
different-
briefcase.
No, maybe Ragland took Courtney's briefcase to go have these meetings, and then when he came back, he was cornered by Courtney, being
Interesting.
like, "What are you doing?" Shoots him, and he leaves him with his briefcase.
Why the slash?
No, because he was smoking in the shed.
So he would have been waiting in the shed for Alan
was
to
waiting.
come out.
Oh, okay.
He was smoking in the shed, a fire hazard.
Surely.
He's a devil-may-care guy.
Yeah, because he wants access to.
He was
the-
hotboxing the shed.
He wants that folder so that he can sell it.
Who's he working with?
Surely.
If he was
The
the-
highest bidder.
Because
Okay,
he's meeting all of them.
He's
He's
meeting-
got debt.
Oh,
He's in financial trouble.
We just have to.
He's got financial trouble.
right, because Drummond's has messed up again. So maybe he's in financial trouble. So maybe he's trying to sell it
And-
to. Because this is
Okay.
a huge contract.
And he was able to purchase new stocks.
Yes.
It was like he was.
Which was the day afterwards, right?
Because that was Raglan, right? Who,
Yeah, Raglan purchased a bunch of stocks.
It all.
Stocks, which was
Why the slash?
done by Radford and Jones, which was for a ironworking and paper.
Who's the big guy?
Who's
The
like
big guy with the limp.
Mishkin,
Yeah.
the guy who's or like.
Should we go to the Russian embassy?
No, I think we're close enough to solve that we don't need to add any more.
So we can move.
I feel like we have a decent motive. Like he's in debt and wanted to sell the secrets.
Yeah.
From Project 10, SP10.
Yeah.
And then I guess the outstanding questions are:
What's the slash on the briefcase?
what's the slash on the briefcase?
If they had multiple identical briefcases, this could just be a replacement briefcase.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something that was attacked.
Because there's a series of
Let's solve this.
Scratch it.
there's a series of there's 2 series of questions, each with 4, and if we answer those questions, we get to deduct a certain number of points if we get them correct.
We're gonna need that.
So do we want to move?
We've gone
do we
all
wanna-
over this town.
Do we want to move to solve? Is there anything else we want to do? I feel like we have a good theory.
I think it's Richard Allen.
We never talked to Marlowe, but that's fine.
Who's Marlo?
The guy who took over the company. We
yeah,
never investigated that ruby ring.
I don't know where would even start on that
Yeah.
ruby ring.
I bet you there's jewelers in there.
There are jewelers. Which one? There's 6 of them.
Are there any other is there anything else about the scene of the crime? Anything about any of these?
Good.
There is one thing in the newspaper that makes me wonder. It's not like a definite clue, but I feel like
Wasn't there something about guns?
The
in
Colombo-
The newspaper?
One more
the
question.
Papua New Guinea thing. But
I could have sworn there was a thing about guns.
there's a thing here about improved spectacles.
He had spectacles. Go on.
He did. They made a big point about talking about his spectacles, both in the briefcase and not. And there's just a thing about improved spectacles. Here, I'll show you. Give you the
Read
address.
it aloud for everyone, but most.
The address is Chesterman Oculist Opticians, 24 Old Bond Street.
Can I just want to take, there is something about guns in this paper.
Yeah, with Papua New Guinea.
I think, no, there was something about a gun merchant.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I could have sworn I saw something about a gun merchant.
Like $16. 24 Northwest.
We never talked to his widow, the widow Allen, Beatrice.
I just want to see if there is a 24 Northwest.
Don't know that we need to, but Thaddeus. Or no, that was.
There was a receipt for a hat purchased at a high cost.
Of note, the Jesuits in Canada, from Toronto, June 9th, the Evangelical Alliance of Canada have forwarded to Ottawa a long petition addressed to the Governor General and Council praying His Excellency to disallow the Jesuits Estate Act passing by the Quebec legislature. Just throwing in the little Canadian
Okay,
piece
love
in
that
there,
for us.
because I can. I feel like
They also misspelled Ottawa.
they absolutely misspelled Ottawa, and that's fine.
Ottawa.
Okay, maybe there wasn't something about guns. I could have sworn I saw something about guns in here.
What was it? You just said the.
So there was a receipt for a hat
Oh, yeah,
purchased
the
for
hat.
£10, which
From
I think
Clark
maybe we can
and
solve it,
Sons.
but if we can't, at least that would confirm whether or not it was his briefcase.
Yeah.
What did they say about the swarthy man? Was he wearing a hat?
No, shifty eyes.
Is Clark and Sons
medium
in
height.
there, Sean?
I'm looking for.
I'm sure
hat.
it's Clark and Son.
Clark and Sons.
But that was for a hat, though,
Haberdashery.
right? Not a.
For a Victoria hat.
Right.
£10.
On Chelsea Street?
Yeah.
And what does it
Oh.
say?
They have a department store. One would buy a hat there.
No, it'd be the actual hats.
Could
Ha.
be
Hattery.
Fooled me again.
Clark and Sons, Hatter, Chelsea.
Doesn't say like WC or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay.
Are we willing to send our man to the gas chamber without more information?
It would be the gallows at this point.
right.
He's a lord. I'm totally fine with it.
Okay, I mean, I think we can move to solve. If there's anything else we want to do.
Bummed we couldn't find Schulenberg.
Well, where would Schulenberg be?
Did they mention a place that he might hang out?
No. Schulenberg's just bailed.
Unless.
He dipped.
Because he got the...
There are the people. There's like Sean's list of attaché people. Foreign. We didn't talk to. We talked to Ellis
Talked
at the
to
Times.
Porky.
We talked to Porky.
No, we didn't talk to Porky.
No, we did not talk to Porky.
But there's
just-
no like.
What about these coal leases? Do we think those are important at all?
What about? Okay, here this might be a total shot in the dark, but it does talk about like, would the Office of Records have anything?
Did
Like legal records, criminal, civil, and estate civil records being stuff around like purchases, like
I don't think so.
no? Okay.
Let me
moved
ask
to
this kid a
solve.
different question. What is the piece of the puzzle that we would like to solve? I'm curious about the slash on the thing.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about von Stupenberg, but I don't know how to get at him because we already went where he works. He's not in the book.
You got something?
They made a comment about how sharp thingies Umbrella was, stabbing the doorbell and his hat.
That's
and,
Wiggins. That's
That
like
is
our
Wiggins.
guy.
He-
Yeah,
that's us.
no,
Did he?
but just a commentary on umbrellas being sharp tipped. So maybe it wasn't a knife; it was an umbrella.
Ah.
Briefcase.
Could be.
Because it was not a knife. It was something uneven.
What was the Spaniard again?
The Spaniard was a bar.
I know, but what
The-
number do you have there?
Oh,
The Spaniard? That I can find no problem.
I just want to.
Spaniards, 25 Southwest.
the Count left the embassy at 4:45 p.m., so he is unaccounted for at the time of the murder. Also,
The Count, unaccounted for. Interesting.
We've also yet to find.
And her name was something Rudel.
Frida.
Frida Rudel.
Rudel.
What about? Would it be helpful to talk to his widow at all?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna
I
learn.
Like,
I think we could probably.
I think we moved. I think we'd be bold and we move to solve. We've got way more cases to go through.
Public defenders to start. It's huge. I think it actually does make a lot of sense to maybe go to his house. His wife will be there. Old Dickie Allen's house. There might
Courtney
be-
Allen or Richard Allen?
Oh, fuck. We already
Courtney,
talked
the
to
dead brother. We haven't talked to his wife.
Because we do have Richard Allen and Courtney Allen. We are currently in.
Courtney Allen would probably be his widow,
We'd
Beatrice.
speak
We
to
can talk to the widow, but it's also his home. We may
The widow
find-
Allen.
We may find ways to connect to von Stuhlenberg or
Frida.
other folks or
Yes.
Frida.
I think that's a good idea,
I
Sean.
think we check out Courtney Allen's place.
All right.
Okay.
We're looking to go to 14 New Wales.
Did you want to read that one, Sean?
Quick question for you. So Mishkin arrived at 9, so he was dead already.
He was dead already at that time, and we think it was
then,
Ragland.
curiously enough-
that's Ragland.
Yeah, Mariano also ate alone and was joined by another man, but it doesn't say that it was the same man. He would have recognized if it was the same one. His reservation was for 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
and the original reservation was.
And then same age as the England. They're the Englishman, 30-ish, swarthy, shifty eyes.
Moreno was a red herring. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think specifically the 8:30 that's referenced there is to conflict with the Captain Egan meeting at 8:30 that he had on the same day. So
Yes.
rules that out as important.
Yeah.
Unless Captain Egan is.
Yeah, I want to get into this guy's apartment.
Who we
What
going
would have
to?
been his house? Would it?
We're going to
Courtney
his-
Allen's house.
Courtney Allen's house. Going to NW.
Courtney Allen Love.
Now, this is very difficult for me. I don't know how the numbers go, and I have gone past
You're
it once
way at the
again.
end there, babes.
Okay, good for me. Here we go. We're going to start all the way at the left.
His house.
SW area for the social warriors.
We're going to talk to his
We're
wife.
going to get to NW.
Beatrice.
There we go.
Beatrice, yeah.
Beatrice.
It's very
That's
small.
tiny, isn't it?
She's grieving. Leave her alone.
It's very
Our
tiny.
interview with Ms. Allen is mercifully short. She answers our indelicate questions with a quiet, calm dignity that convinces us she knows nothing of her husband's murder that would be of any help to us. Fuck me.
That's it.
How uncouth. You insensitive bastard.
Doodle-doo.
I was hoping that we would maybe get access to his study or something like
I
that.
was also hoping that book. You dick.
Okay.
Do we want to sneak into Richard
Can I
Allen's
roll a
place?
persuasion check to see if she lets
It's
me
not-
in?
Did you want, we
No
did
dice
not bring
here.
the nice
No
dice.
dice
Yeah,
here.
can I try
She is
and
officially
fuck
available.
a widow?
No. Okay, I think we gotta move to solve.
Move to solve.
Yeah, that was my last.
I can't wait.
Okay, here, pass me the book. I will
Okay.
do the solving. Because we will. Okay. As lead investigator. I'm gonna-
Apple.
So when you get to the end of the case, you flip the book over and you go to the back. There is an envelope which contains,
Who done it?
I think it's who.
He just flips down. Yeah.
Yes, and it's got the stuff in it. And the first series of questions we have is who killed Courtney Allen?
Lord, Mother.
It's Lord Henry Raglan.
Yeah, that's the one I said.
Okay.
Lord Henry Raglan.
Why was he murdered?
To get to the special case file. Case
For the secrets.
the military.
SP10.
So that Ragland could settle debts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ragland, so Ragland.
At Drummond's Bank.
Ragland is in
Dangus?
debt.
Yeah, I guess we could have gone to the bank to
Was
confirm
going to
that.
sell it
We know.
at the highest bidder.
We're already chasing homes.
Okay. What was the significance of the message found in Courtney Allen's notebook?
Which one?
I'm assuming it's the SP10 message. That one.
Oh, the 10 p.m. the Spaniards meeting?
It says, what is the significance of the message found in Courtney Allen? Yes. It says, each phase of Holmes then empties the contents on the table. Inventory includes spectacles, a case, a ruby ring, a gold wedding band, a key with a change, empty wallet, and a small note. I think this is the notebook. That's the note.
Mm-hmm.
It's the SP10 Spaniard Tonight 10p.
Oh, we've talked about
yeah.
this. It's where
Yeah.
they're selling the military secrets.
So
So
where
he was planning to.
he was originally, maybe Courtney was originally planning to sell it. Raglan sussed it out and said, I could do, go ahead.
What?
No, I just had another thought that maybe, like, even though it says they appear to be identical, he also comments about, like, the fineness of the hand movements of the brother. So maybe the brother did write that note and the brother was planning to
But
sell the document at 10 p.m.
it could also be the, yeah. Okay, so
What are we putting for that one?
what are we putting for this one? What was the significance of the message? It was just to where he was actually
Date
planning.
and date of meeting.
The date,
Meeting for
Date
crime.
of, date of selling.
time of selling.
A date for crime.
That's important.
Okay. And
Gotta keep your
what was the reason for Richard Camp's visit to the French embassy?
He was,
Annette.
To see his fiancée.
to see his fiance and drop off cigarettes for Francois Zola.
Zola,
Well, I'm
her
glad
uncle. Annette's
and-
uncle.
And to drop off
He's not a spy.
He's not a spy. He's just in love.
for Zobar. Okay, the second series of questions. Why was the tip of the cigarette at the scene of the crime found pinched around all evenly?
It was in a cigarette holder. Lord Raglan's to be specific.
Who was Courtney Allen's paramour at the time of his death? Countess von Schulenburg, aka Frida Run.
Frida Rudel.
A spy.
Frida Strudel.
He did not marry von Stuhlenberg.
They're not married. They're
Not
spy-
married.
They're spies.
They're spies
Okay.
out of wedlock, but they are both.
What was special about the weapon used to kill Courtney Allen?
It was from his own plant, and it was a high caliber gun.
It's a high caliber.
From his own plant.
From
Very
his
high-powered.
own
high
plant.
powered,
It was
high
special because
caliber
It was every gun is special to
from
somebody.
the Grant Company. Okay. And how could Wiggins easily make 10 pounds?
Selling his hat.
I think
Well
that's-
done.
Yeah, I think that's bang
Because if
on.
the
Makes a
Chelsea
point.
hat, if the Chelsea, but no, but that
I'm sure,
references
yeah.
that references the note.
If
we
you'd gone
got
to the
in second
hat
book,
shop, the guy would have
who
made
said,
fun of you.
I'd love to spy your hat. I can
You
sell
know
it to
what?
you for 10 pounds.
Maybe it was Wiggins. He got the sharp umbrella and he's got the hat that was bought.
Wiggins, you dirty bastard.
Selling his bowler hat.
It's a 10-pound hat.
Okay,
Ain't none of the other hats popped.
are we ready? So I think we read the solutions first, and then we
See how.
calculate our points.
And then Holmes schools us on what really happened.
It
Oh my
was
god!
the brother.
What?
I'm not gonna even tell you. Okay.
Can I read it?
No.
We need to go back.
We are gathered once again at 221B Baker Street, comparing notes and discussing the case, trying to unravel its many threads when Holmes finally speaks. From the outset, it was obvious that the theft of Mr. Allen's watch and wallet was but a decoy for the perpetrator's real intent. In the first place, it is unlikely that the common criminal would have overlooked two valuable rings, and the second, a simple theft would not be an explanation for the disappearance of the SP10 file that Billy prepared for Allen, which was no longer in his briefcase. But the briefcase was found locked, protests Watson. As far as we know, Allen locked it, and it remained so until you yourself sprang it open. I might add that I was quite shocked at your adeptness at such larceny. To study the criminal is to acquire knowledge of criminal methods. In any case, the murderer must have opened it, as evidenced by the spread eagle position of the body and the placement of the briefcase with regards to it. well, that was given information, we just didn't pay attention to it. As Alan was shot, his arms described an arc out and away from the body. So if he had actually dropped the briefcase, it would have
I did say
flown farther.
that he didn't have the briefcase.
The briefcase then appeared to have been flung some distance, as indicated by the gouge in the leather, caused its scraping along the jagged cobbles, which the officer at the scene also described. Yet it was found beside the body, and more significantly, waist high, exactly in the right position for the murderer to have retrieved it and brought it to the key on Alan's fob watch. Oh, he brought it. Okay. Knowing that the contents of the folder were central to the murder and that the code stood for Special Project Number 10, a new naval gun for the Admiralty, it was a simple matter to cull the 2 suspects from the customer list at the Bonds & Hans Imperial brand smokers. The cigarette was found at the scene was, of course, a Bonds & Hans cigarette.
Of course, we all knew
You
that.
must mean Count von Schulenburg and Emil Zobar, the military attaches from Germany and France. Ventures Wiggins. No, not at all. Ha ha ha. Remember, all the technical data was kept at the Deverell Street plant. Folder SP10, like the others in Alan's briefcase, contained only administrative data that would have been no use to a foreign power. It could, however, contain something that would be damaging to a company employee. Therefore, the 2 significant names on the Bonds & Hans list were those of Lord Ragland and Richard Camp. Captain Egan, quite unintentionally, went a long way to clearing camp. A visit to the plant completed his job. His visits to the French embassy were certainly suspicious, asserts Watson. The photographs on his desk explain them perfectly. The church in the background with the unfinished towers of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Mr. Camp's lady love is French and lives at the French embassy. Further, I suspect the lady has some familiar relationship to Zobar. The Bonds & Hans Imperials were purchased by Mr. Camp, a cigar smoker, as intended for a gift from Monsieur Zobar.
Nailed it.
I would have bet that Emile was the killer. Damn Frenchies, grumbles Watson.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Watson.
It's just outright. It's just very.
By process of elimination, Lord Ragland is our man. But why? What was the damaging information in the folder, asks Watson. From the cryptic wire sent to Egan and the note concerning
We never talked to
Sure.
Egan.
Yeah, of course.
Talked to Captain Egan. Note concerning Spaniards by Alan, which, by the way, explains why the note was signed A.M. in Alan's handwriting. Alan must have made a copy of the note he left for Ragland and kept it in his notebook. From this, it was clear that Ragland was selling Special Project 10 to a foreign power.
Yes.
Whatever evidence Alan had was in that folder and was about to be taken to Lord Egan. So he figured it out. I believe
I think we're still doing good.
I believe Mr. Allen went to the plant that morning to confront Mr. Ragland with that evidence.
Surprise, motherfucker.
8 a.m. surprise. Interesting. When he intercepted the note, he saw a chance to catch Ragland and A.M. Alexei Meshkov, military attaché at the Russian embassy, red-handed. He'd set up with the Megan with Egan and was ready to pounce. Okay, so we didn't quite get that right, but that's pretty close. Ragland, for his part, was either told of Alan's surprise and intercepted the note, or he detected something was amiss with the note itself. He probably waited for during the day for the axe to fall, and when it didn't, he realized that Alan was playing a waiting game. He took up station in the alley knowing that Alan would come that way and shot him. Holmes has solved the case by following 4 leads.
What? You didn't visit Quincy?
He visited the crime scene and the Grant Arms Company, 5EC. He then investigated the cigarette
Went
butt.
straight to cigarettes?
He then investigated the cigarette butt by going straight to the maker, Bonds & Hans. Then he met Captain Egan at the Admiralty.
God damn it.
And thanks to the name of the street obtained at the Grant Arms Company in the map of London, he finally went to the Deverell Street manufacturing plant. His score is 100 points.
Bastard.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're gonna
Go off, Holmes.
good.
Oh, no,
Okay.
we're not.
No,
We
we're
went
not.
to 11 places.
12
places.
Look, we're naming the
All right,
city.
let's calculate some points
Okay,
here.
some points here.
Okay.
Lord Ragland is
25
25
points. We
points.
went to him.
he discovered that Lord Ragland was selling SPA to a
Yeah,
foreign power.
yeah.
We got that one.
Boom.
Number 3, it's the
So, do we get 25 points for
we
that?
get 25 points for that.
Coming for you, Holmes.
And number 3, we said the date and time of selling secrets. It's the sale of where SP10 was to Alexei Meshkov was having. So 25 points for that.
We're
I
up
thought we went
75.
low. I thought we went low.
Oh, maybe we want high. Maybe we want high. Hold on, I'll read
No,
the
because
bottom.
then don't we deduct?
Oh, this is the The adding.
Yes, let me.
And then we deduct.
And then we
We
deduct
deduct a bunch
bunch
for
of
going
points.
to 11 places.
And then the second one, because it was smoked through a cigarette holder, 10 points.
10
Oh,
points.
sorry. He was visiting his fiancee Annette Zobar, 25 points.
25
so we got 100 points right off the top. We got
And
all
then
4 of this
10.
question, and then 10 more points. Who was number 6? Who was his paramour? Countess von Schulenburg, Frida Rudel.
10 more
points.
Rudel.
Number 7, it was a high-powered, high-caliber rifle from the Grant Company, which we also got correct.
10 points.
Number 8, this is not correct. By returning the earring to Countess von Schulenburg, see the ad in the newspaper. Somebody find something about a missing earring. It was lost during her meeting with Alan at the Bishop's Finger. That's 10 points. Okay, so how many points do we have so far?
130.
130. To tally your score, add the points obtained by answering the questions and then count the number of
Oh, so
leads.
not by selling his awesome hat?
Not by selling his hat. It would have been returning Countess von Schulenburg's earring.
What earring?
She lost an earring, apparently. We didn't speak
You had to go
her.
to the cab, I guess.
You had to go to
find
maybe the
earrings.
cabs. Yeah. Anyway, to tally your score, add the number of points obtained by answering the questions, then count the number of leads you've followed and compare that to Holmes. So 12 minus 4 is 8. If you followed more leads than Holmes, subtract 5 points from your score for each lead. So
That's
it's
40. So
we
had
got
90 to
points.
100.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but we probably didn't need the last.
Yeah.
I mean, we did find
You
all the
know-
stuff about Richard Camp in number 11. We just probably didn't need this last one here, which would have given us 95.
The mercifully short visit with his wife.
Yes.
That would have been 5 short.
And was there any here that were
We didn't need
also-
to visit the wife or the mom.
We didn't need to visit the mom of Billy.
Wait, look. The goal was to see Billy. I just guessed wrong at where he'd be midday on a working day.
Amazing. Okay.
He
well,
doesn't work from home.
We would have tied him if we didn't go and see the widow and the assistant's mom.
We got caramels.
you find something
Here,
about a
guys.
missing earring?
Is this a right?
It's yes.
Yeah, following the lead in here, I think you're supposed to go to the cabbies, and then the cabbies would have given you the earring.
Oh, yeah.
It says like if you're missing something from the public
It
carriages.
says here-
Had we found Countess von Schulenburg, she probably would have said my earring is missing if you find it.
They probably would have told us where she was.
I'll give
Yes.
you 10 smackaroos.
10 smackaroos for that one.
10.
Well, this was pretty
Holy
fun,
shit.
y'all. We came for our first case out, scoring a 90.
We're
That's
coming
not
for you,
bad.
Holmes.
We're coming for you, Holmes. Amazing. Okay.
I'm fired up. I'm like, what other secrets does it hold? I think it was absolutely ambitious. We were like, we might do 2 mysteries.
I wasn't sure.
This is what my page looked like.
Amazing. We are going to film a chat water and we're going to talk
Are we?
about this game. Yes. Yes, we are, Yanis. We're going to film a short chat water.
Chap water.
A chap water, I love it. To talk about this and the game and a little bit into kind of what's coming up next for us. Maybe we'll share a little bit more stuff. What did you just spill on the floor? About
sounded
what's
like-
coming up for content for us. Please stick around. We're going to rate someone awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for the Baker Street Irregulars. And I want to give a huge thank you to our 2 guests, Danielle and Michael, this evening. I'm going to give you each a chance to plug your stuff and what you do. Danielle, please tell everyone who you are and what do you do?
Actor, voice actor, theater of the mind player, Agnar.
What's Theater of the Mind Flayer?
It's an actual play D&D podcast. Sometimes we do other things. We recently just did a Never Stop Blowing Up Christmas special where we are action hero toys.
Hell yeah.
Oh, very fun. Amazing. And people can find you at Theater of the Mind Flayer all over
At
the place?
Theater of the Mind Player at all the places. That is theater spelt the British way.
The correct way.
The RE.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Danielle. And when we do Baker Street, you're going to have to come back.
Yes.
Join us
Heck
again.
yeah.
Amazing. And Michael.
Hey!
I'm also here. Hello. You can find me at Bookworm Games, absolutely everywhere. Bookworm.games on Instagram. You can also find me at foxwing.games. That's where I do quest chest stuff. We build puzzles. I spend all of my time writing. I literally haven't stopped writing in like 6 months. It's been great. That's me. That's what I got.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the both of you for joining us. We will be back next week with our main campaign. Jess will be back, and then we're very, very soon going to be joined by Adam. He's almost,
Yes.
he's almost
He's almost
home.
back.
So he will be joining us within the next couple weeks. We're very, very excited. And I've announced this to our Patreons a while ago, but I'll announce this publicly when Adam returns for his first episode back. We are very, very excited to be joined again by the incredible Abdul Aziz for Too Haunted, Too Betrayed, the sequel to Esper's Journeys when he gallivants off when Adam goes to Australia. So I'm very, very excited to have Abdul join us once again as the amazing Sux Benedict, glamour bard and rogue. So yeah, if you haven't seen that episode already, you probably don't have to watch it.
You should.
You should. Though. It's a good time. Stick around for the raid. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will see you next time, and put your thumbs up, babies. When you find yourself deep in late 1800s London, everything is probably really gross, so don't touch
the goo.
Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.